The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
It's National Rescue Dog Day.
2 million pets each year. They'll go from the breeder, where I got it from straight, right? 2 million. They'll go to a bad home, get abused, beaten, and abandoned. And some people, not all, they'll go to the shelter. They go, oh, look who needs my help. Don't worry. I am now here in Jesus' image to rescue you. The word rescue in the English language, as I've learned, means save from danger. Why did you wait for it to get beaten first?
Went down to the pound, I got one of those free dogs. Yeah, that's how I say it. I don't say I rescued a dog. I hate when people say that. She's a rescue. Yeah, I rescued her. Really? Did you pull her out of a burning building? Stop acting like you had to take out a couple of guards, crawl in on your elbows, using hand signals. Dude, you ever go down to the pound? They're just giving them away.
Okay, turn your radio up.
Happy National Rescue Dog Day.
Showtime.
Oh, man. I haven't been this happy in years.
Yeah, it's
so
a good
happy
feeling.
for you.
I haven't been this happy in years and years. And I know what some of you might be saying right from the get-go. Some of you might be saying, but dude, you're on the best morning show in town by far. And that is obvious. That's very true. And we've been that for years and years and years. But still, I haven't been this happy in years. Certainly, there's been no happy events or moments in my personal life that can compare.
Could I just interject real quick?
Sure.
You're recently married to the love of your life.
Oh, nobody cares about that. I don't care about that.
But you should care about it.
I don't care. Compared to what happened last night, compared to what the Timberwolves did for me, that's nothing, Josh. Nothing.
You're doing this wrong, man.
What are you talking about?
I know it's exciting, but
I'm very excited.
You found a partner for life. Well, a female partner for life.
A female?
You already had a male partner for life in myself.
You have been my male partner. Yeah. That stuff is all cute and everything.
Well, I'm sorry I interrupted.
I get what you mean.
It seemed like you forgot for a second.
Oh, no, I didn't forget. It's just not as important to me as what the Wolves did last night.
And what a fun game that was.
I mean, they beat those bastards.
Yeah.
They beat them. They got them in front of all those pricks.
There were so many fun moments, but my favorite two moments, we were talking about this off the air, is when Jamal Murray got pickpocketed twice in the fourth. That was awesome.
Oh, God.
Right there, once in the middle of the court. The second, I forget. I was elated. And also, I want to say that one of my neighbors, one of the neighbor kids, is no longer allowed to watch television sports at our house.
Oh, no.
Because the way the first half went, he was there for the first half, and then he had to go home afterwards, and then the Wolves turned it around. And this has happened a couple times. He's bad luck. He can't watch sports at our house anymore.
Tell him to go home next time. He's got a TV at home, right?
Yeah, the one Viking game he went to this year, the Vikes lost. He is bad luck.
This kid's just a bad luck charm in town.
So I promise other bandwagon and real Wolves fans, a bandwagon like myself, real Wolves fans, he will not be along. Then as far as the Wolves go, he's not allowed at my house.
You're going to do your part.
I will.
To keep this cooking.
That's all I can do.
Tell me about the other favorite. We talked off air about Jamal Murray. You hate his guts.
I can't stand the guy.
You can't stand the sight of the guy. You loved watching him get his pocket picked twice. I believe once it was Ant, the other time it was Mike Conley Jr. What were we talking about off air? The other moment that we both really loved last night.
Now I'm forgetting. There's so many. Oh, when Anthony Edwards waved to the crowd.
I was just going to bring that up, too.
And McDaniels tried to give himself the bounce dunk.
Yeah. Dude, when A1 waved to the crowd on the way out. So long, suckers. Throws it over to Jaden McDaniels. And McDaniels is acting like, I'm going to run out the clock and be a good sport. No, I'm not. I'm going to alley-oop myself the ball and try to dunk it.
I wish it would have got in.
I mean, McDaniels is a temperamental guy. He runs hot. As you know, last year he broke his own arm or whatever because he was upset about that. When he tried to do that alley-oop dunk, unfortunately, who was it? Caldwell Pope saw it coming.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to start a full-on brawl.
Yeah. Even I was like, oh, that's cold.
If he just would have fired that down, had it worked, I bet there was going to be a brawl on the floor. But you know what McDaniels was doing right there? Trying to be a dick.
Yeah, he was.
And I've been pushing that mindset. You guys know that. For years. Let's be dicks about this. Thank you, Jaden McDaniels, for at least, well, I mean, it was a dick move that you even attempted to alley-oop yourself a dunk in the closing seconds of a game that was already over. But, oh, wow, I mean, they got him. They effing got him on the road. The defending champions, down 20. I mean, someone told me, and then a couple articles said 15 points down at halftime is the greatest Game 7 comeback in NBA history?
Yes. Yep.
Or in the last 25 years?
Yeah, I've heard both, 25 years or history.
I would have thought it would have been a greater deficit than 15 points. Man, that was a riot.
I thought for sure, I've mentioned before, BET and now Mike Conley are aphrodisiacs for my wife.
Right.
And I thought, he had a couple of great moments last night. I thought, here we go. And nothing. I think it was just too exhausting, the ups and downs of that game last night. It just didn't work.
Yeah,
and she went to the Saints game yesterday afternoon, so she was
I think it was
beat.
Pure exhaustion.
There was a point during the game yesterday where, Josh, even my boyfriend turned to me, and he was like, oh, I bet Josh's wife is just going crazy right now. I was like, what?
She's right. Conley is gorgeous. She's obsessed with him. We actually have a disagreement, though. Maybe you guys can help me out.
Talk to me.
McDaniels. I think he's cool looking. My wife does not.
Really?
Hey, he's no Mike Conley.
Well, he's not gorgeous, but I think he's got like a cool vibe to
He
him.
does have a very cool vibe. He's very, well, I just mentioned that sometimes the guy can get very temperamental.
But a little edgy.
A little edgy, and that's his role. The thing about Jaden McDaniels is he is so stone-faced all the time. He doesn't really express himself much. So I think, yes, he always appears to be very laid back, very relaxed, and very cool. On the inside, I think a lot of the time he's raging. But, right, Josh, he always has this very mellow...
He's got like a cool look on his face.
Yeah, he does.
I love the way he wears his headband.
Yeah, he's a good-looking kid. He's got cool hair.
Yeah.
He's got the cool headband. I like it when he lets the afro go. Have you seen him when he's done that?
No.
Yeah,
Has he done that in either series here?
No,
because I've been watching since game 1 of the Phoenix Suns series.
Right. He did it only a couple times this year earlier in the season. He let the hairdo just kind of go pow. But anyway, yeah, I think he's a cool-looking dude. My friggin' wife, thanks for reminding me earlier.
It should be a good memory, but go on.
My friggin' wife is a big fan of Jaden McDaniels. And she gets a kick out of how stoic he appears to be. But she says, and I think this is a good comparison, she says that he moves like a baby giraffe.
I'll have to pay more attention next time.
Pay more attention. When he runs, the legs and arms are he's got such long arms and legs, he kind of looks awkward and wobbly and off balance like a baby giraffe. Some of yous, watch a little more Wolves basketball. I think you'll see what she means.
Yeah,
that's great. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that kid. Absolutely.
It was pretty good comedy when Gobert had that jump shot. Even
oh my gosh!
There's so many times. You and I have talked about this. I think off air, where it's like, is he a professional athlete or is he just tall? There's times he looks so unathletic, and he had a couple of those goofball moments last night.
That fadeaway jump shot that he hit was absolutely ridiculous.
Even the announcers, it seemed like they were checking the sheet to make sure they had the right jersey number. Is that Gobert?
Right, and the bench goes crazy, of course. If he took that shot 100 times, he misses 99 of them.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
and some of those putbackers, man, those were great.
Nas Reed's putback dunk was great. Carl's putback
was instantaneous. That was awesome.
Which he had to do something to make up for that absolute roadside disaster that he had trying to inbounds the basketball on the prior possession. If you remember that. Carl's trying to inbound.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
He has no idea what he's doing.
He doesn't call a timeout for whatever.
And they turn it over.
Yeah,
The following possession was when he had that putback dunk, so that was nice for Carl. That was just, I'll never forget last night's game. That was such a riot.
That was awesome. If the Wolves go all the way, I wonder if this is going to be like the 87 and 91 World Series was for me, where like I just remember watching with the family. I have so many great memories. My grandma was a big baseball fan. She passed out a couple of times. She used to get anxiety attacks, right?
Yeah.
She's like a fainting goat. And she would just sit there in her easy chair and be like, and she'd be out.
She's down again.
Yeah, we'd be fanning Grandma, trying to get her back into consciousness.
Was that 87 or 91?
That was the 87 one.
So more than one time, you look over at your grandma and she's unconscious.
Yeah.
That's when you know someone's dialed into a ball game.
Yeah, she was pumped.
Oh, man. You wonder if it'll be that kind of drama.
I just wonder if kids are going to look back like I do on those series.
Oh,
just
I think absolutely.
Good memories watching with their families, or
No
those
doubt.
lucky enough to go to the game.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, I came pretty close to cardiac arrest once or twice last night. If they do happen to somehow make it all the way to the final, like I said, I think someone asked the question, a listener might have texted in a month ago or so and said, the question was, what will I be like or something? How will my mental state be if they go all the way to the final? And I think what I said at the time was, I will be inconsolable.
Mm-hmm.
I came very close last night to where I kind of checked my pulse and, is that a real chest pain or is that you know what I mean? Like I get pretty wound up. So
Well, and I'm sure there's some people probably sick of us talking about it.
Don't care. Do not care.
I'm surprised how much I'm into this because I like basketball enough, but I watch maybe one game during the season. But this team is so fun to watch. They're just so different.
They're so likable. I think that's the big thing.
That's the other thing.
For casuals.
Even when they're being dicks, they're likable.
And they seem to all love each other so much. That's what's so cool about it.
I've mentioned that before, is they cheer for each other so much.
Yeah,
Catfishing Jesus said the Nas Reed putback dunk made him jump so high his newly acquired Nas Reed tattoo came right off. It slid off.
Dude, so much effing fun. And we keep going. They keep going. And we keep following them.
Home court advantage in the Western Conference Finals all of a sudden.
And as you saw in the Denver series, that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Home court advantage. Where's my sarcasm horn?
Not so much, but it is cool, though. We have two games this week.
Hell yeah. What, to Wednesday and
Yeah,
Friday?
there'll be earlier games, right?
Yep.
I guess unless they do something with the TV schedule, I don't know.
They're finally down to just 2 series, so we're getting 7:30 stuff from here on out. We'll get back into it in an hour and a half when Dinkus and other Dinkus check in, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. I'm sure they'll want to talk about it. All right. Monday morning. Welcome to the program. Appreciate it and all that. Talk to me, Cubby. How you doing? How was your weekend?
Doing okay. We had a really scary moment yesterday, and I want to thank both the St. Paul Fire Department and Police Department.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, my family went to the Saints game yesterday, and my son got hit by a car, my youngest son. The guy was young guy. Sounds like he wasn't really paying attention.
Dude.
Blew a stop sign. He's fine. I'll leave with that. Obviously, he's fine. He's fine. Otherwise, you guys would have known.
Crossing the street going over to the ball game?
Yeah, he was leaving like a parking lot, and the guy blew a stop sign.
Holy balls.
And I wasn't there, so this is from what I was told from witnesses. The cops had to come. The fire department checks him out and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it's one of those things where he told me, and it didn't really kick in until last night, where I was like, my God.
Oh, you weren't there to see it?
No, I was doing stupid show prep for this stupid show, and so I couldn't go to the game. But they, my wife tells me when they get home, she didn't call or say anything. So like I said, he's a little banged up, but not too bad.
Just some scrapes. The guy must not have been going terribly fast.
No, he wasn't. He just basically rolled through a stop sign.
Oh.
And it sounds like he wasn't paying attention, but my wife was saying how great the St. Paul Police and Fire. I mean, no surprise, but they were awesome.
Did it launch him a little bit, or just kind of bumped him?
I don't know. I think it was more of a bump, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Jesus, criminy.
Yeah, a little bit of drama. It's one of those things where, like I said, it took a little while to settle in. And last night I was like getting a little choked up. Like, my God, that could have been bad.
Well, damn.
I mean, he got a new outfit, and I was just thinking about all the money I spent on that outfit.
Yeah.
It could have just went to waste.
Save the receipt at least, hopefully.
Well, that's a freaky deal.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's okay.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
People get Josh is back at the house doing show prep. His kids getting run over by cars.
I know.
I'll tell you what, one of my buddy's mothers, when we were growing up, one of my best buddy's mothers blasted into a kid on a bicycle and mangled the kid up pretty good. Kid survived, but he was pretty beat up. I wonder if the same thing will be true for this young person who bumped into your son behind the wheel. This buddy of mine's mother, anytime she was driving and saw a kid on a bicycle, she'd just lock up.
Yeah, I'm wondering too. Like I said, I wasn't there. It sounded like the young guy was, very apologetic and, felt terrible and felt stupid probably. Could have been way worse. So we got really lucky.
Yeah,
Again,
hell yeah.
thank you to the first responders in St. Paul. Thank you.
They showed up and put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah, it took care of
swatted
everybody.
him on the ass and said, enjoy the ball game. Yeah, this buddy of mine's mom, after she ran over this kid on a bicycle, I mean, she was not a safe person to ride in a motor vehicle with for a stretch of time. Because anytime she saw a kid on a bicycle, she was a little affected by that.
Oh, that would mess with me. Holy cow.
Jesus, what a hell of a story. You said something or another there in the intro about National Rescue Dog Day. I have a question for you. Is every dog a rescue now?
Well, pretty much.
A lot
seems like it.
I don't know. Like, breeders get a bad rap, rightfully or not rightfully. I guess I don't really know or have a dog in that fight. No applause? All right, fine. But, yeah, so National Rescue Dog Day. We've had dogs that are rescued. Just like Bill Burr said, I always feel a little douchey saying we rescued a dog. I don't even know what to say. We adopted a dog. Is that okay to say?
Yeah.
A rescue has become the common catchphrase.
Yeah, we got our dogs from rescues. They call themselves rescues.
Yeah, it's just it seems like I can't remember the last time someone was talking about their dog and they didn't say, yeah, she's a rescue or he's a rescue.
They love to include that, too. He's like, oh, cute dog, what's his name? Oh, his name is Paul. He's a rescue.
Oh, you think so? I guess I haven't seen that, but I could see what you're saying. I mean, if I saw a dog walking with Michael Vick, I'd want to rescue it.
Yes.
Which, by the way, on this day in 2009, coincidentally enough, Michael Vick, former quarterback in the NFL, he got released from being involved in dog fighting.
That was
he
one hell of a...
He spent a couple of years in Leavenworth.
Was he really in prison
Leavenworth, yeah.
2 years?
19 months.
I don't remember that.
And then he had house arrest after that.
I remember when the S hit the fan on that. But, oh, wow, I did not recall that he did real time. If you just want to call it that, I don't know, maybe because he was Michael Vick, he had I don't know all the details.
Right, he had a private suite or something.
I'm just saying, 19 months in Leavenworth, which is a notorious joint. Wow. That was really, really a brutal story.
Oh, yeah. If you've read the details, it's terrible.
It shocked the hell out of me. Not that I was completely naive to dogfighting, but when the details came out and the videos came out, that was some deeply disturbing stuff.
Sickening.
And I'll give Mike Vick credit because he has done everything. From what I read, again, I'm not right there with him. I don't know all the details. But from what I have read over the years, Josh, tell me if you've read the same. He has gone absolutely out of his way to right the wrongs.
It sure seems that way, yeah.
It seems that way, and he gets it, and he's very remorseful, and there are people who will never let him off the hook. But from what I've seen, hey, I'm willing to give a guy a second chance.
I think people deserve... I mean, there's certain things you could do where you don't deserve a second chance.
Of course.
But he does seem... It doesn't seem like a fake apology written by a PR firm or anything like
doesn't.
that.
No, it doesn't. But wow, okay, that's really interesting. 2009 was back when that was happening. Ooh-wee, that was
I can't believe it was that long ago.
Yeah. I know. Wow.
So, yeah, it seems like every dog these days is a rescue. I don't know if that's what you define our dog. I don't remember the details as to how.
Yeah, yours is a rescue.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what's a rescue and what's an adoption site or whatever. But that's.
I think it's all kind of the same.
My friggin' wife, she's the one who handles that kind of stuff. But we've got this new half dog, half squirrel at the house. So whatever happened to? I wonder how many folks still buy puppies from the neighbor down the road and things like that. That's what we bred dogs a couple of times. Our chocolate lab, her name was Babe. This was when I was a really little kid. This was only our second dog. We bred her with another lab and sold the puppies. That was a mid-'70s. And then, of course, and that was just awesome. My mother still has old pictures of me as a 5-year-old, holding these 8-10 puppies that Babe spit out. And then Babe was killed by a snowplow.
Oh.
And then in the mid-'80s, the best girl in the whole world, Megan Marie, who was a purebred Springer Spaniel, we bred her with another purebred Springer Spaniel, and we sold those puppies. Are people still? I never hear about that anymore.
2 of the dogs that I have, I got them from people I know. So I wouldn't consider that like being a rescue at all.
No.
Like getting them from your neighbor.
Do little kids still post up a sign in the neighborhood that says puppies?
I saw a sign the other day that said kittens. So
kittens?
We're still doing it with kittens.
Yay, kittens!
And that's all it said too, was just
kittens.
Could
be anything.
We always got ours from like the Humane Society, something like that.
Oh, okay, sure.
One time out of like my dad found a dog in the paper. Some family decided they, wasn't the right dog for him, and we got the dog.
Rescue Dog Day. It's a wonderful thing.
All right, some people are texting in some details of the Michael Vick story. Maybe we don't forgive him.
What did I miss?
I don't even want to read a couple of these. Yeah, okay.
Well, okay.
I mean, he seems... I'd like to forgive a human being, but okay, that's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty bad.
Okay. Whatever. Now I lost my train of thought. No, there, I lost it again.
Yeah, but that didn't last too long.
Making puppies and whatnot we were talking about.
Talked about getting dogs from rescues, the Humane Society.
Oh, Humane Society. Yeah. I'm wondering, okay, I got a cat from over there once. Big Lou. He lives in Chicago now. Good times, yeah.
Did he moved markets? We worked with a coworker that did that.
He went to a bigger market.
Yeah, left here to go to a bigger market.
Yeah, those were really fun times when we had the puppies running around the place. Babe and Megan Marie having their puppies. I had another thought on that, but then this Michael Vick thing threw me, so there you go. Dr. P. Jesus is going to be in studio a little bit later on today. He's going to swing by and tell us what's up. Oh. Ashley, you got to explain this to me.
Yeah.
You handed in some information here when you walked in the door. It says here, this is what Ashley dropped off for all of us. Sorry in advance. I came across a website with pictures of really odd-looking vaginas. You can view them from, and you left me a link here or something.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
I did not click on this link.
You looked up something this weekend. You ran into a website with pictures of odd-looking vaginas?
Yeah, there was this lady that I know that came up to me, and she said that she found this hilarious website, and I have to see it. She said that they're really ugly-looking, strange-looking vaginas. And I said, all right, well, let me get a look at it. And I was like, oh, my gosh, you are very right. I need to show this to people.
Okay, wait a minute. The origin story again is what? A lady walked up to... I'm sorry.
A lady that I know just brought it up in conversation, and then she sent me the link to it, and then I thought, I have to give this to you guys.
So can I look at this at work, Josh? Can I look at a website?
Well, it's part of show research.
They're not sexual photos very much. It's just like very doctor vibes. If that helps.
Dr. Vibes.
We can, like it's clinical, you're saying?
Yeah, and it gives you
this
view.
Website that bills itself as having weird vaginas is clinical?
Yes. It gives you a view of the front and a view from below, too.
It says here, Labia Library.
Isn't that fun?
Is the name of the website, I believe.
Yep.
We'll have to show these to Dr. P later. Oh, my God.
I mean, God in what way? Oh, my God, like disgusting?
Well,
oh, my God.
I did have some questions. Like, I was a little concerned after some of these that, like, mine is weird because it looks nothing like any of those. And so I'm like, is it supposed to?
Dana, check.
Wait a minute. You're worried about what?
It's just, like, I've never seen such a variety of vaginas that I started, like, thinking, could mine be weird?
Okay, the reason I said, oh, my God, is yes, there are some strange-looking genitals here in front of me. But most of them, I've certainly seen something similar in my day.
I was going to ask.
There's only a handful in here, a handful, 2 or 3, where I go, oh, gee. Other than that, I think they're fairly normal.
Do they have descriptions, like...
Not really,
nothing?
no. You're probably wondering if
Like
any of them were given a nickname or something?
Well, it could be. I mean, yeah, either a nickname or say, here's a condition that, this is what that looks like.
Right.
Or
like
say a terrible injury.
Right. Like, say, the dudes have that... Pyrones? Pyrones. Well, here's one with just a very unfortunate wart.
Yeah.
And it's not, at least I don't think it's something that this woman picked up from a strange man, right? Not a genital, not like a sexually transmitted. It's just an unfortunate place.
Is that what yours looks like, Ashley? Was that where you thought, okay, maybe mine is normal?
No.
No warts?
No warts.
There are a couple here that just unfortunate birthmark wart type situations where, the gal looks down every day and goes, for Christ, why couldn't you been on my arm? You know what I mean? She talks to the wart, probably.
Does it say the origin of where these come from? Do women just post this themselves, or is this
Here's what it is,
medically
Josh.
related?
It says here, these photographs are taken from a book called I'll Show You Mine.
Okay.
And the women gave permission to use their photos, I guess, for this website. Okay. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Good to know that's out there.
We do tell Ashley and Dana and Wapple, as far as show prep goes, there's no such idea as a bad idea. Throw anything at us. You never know when it might be used on air, and this is a good example of that.
The Labia Library.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'm going to click on it.
Yeah, you might as well. Josh, tell me if you agree. Sure, there's some oddities. There's 2 or 3 real serious oddities, but other than that, you've encountered something like this in person or on a television screen or a computer screen.
One of these ladies has balls. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't see.
What is that?
Where are there?
Assuming we have the same screen in front of us, the far right, the second one down.
Yeah.
Far right. Oh, the second series of vaginas.
Yeah, and then if you go...
That's a funny-looking one, yeah.
The fourth one also has balls.
Yeah, there's a couple funny-looking ones. It is what it is. Some folks would say it's just what God gave me.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That is all. The Labia Library. Man, the internet is evil. Straight up evil. But thanks for throwing that our way.
Yeah, no problem.
It's kind of fun. It's,
I see there's links here to talk to a gynecologist if you have questions about your privates.
Yeah.
Anyone?
There's a lot of organizations that they link to here.
Does anyone have that unfortunate wart or birthmark they want to talk about?
No.
No?
Thankfully not.
I got like a skin tag.
You have one?
Yeah.
Oh. You just thought of cutting it off or anything?
No, because here's the thing, Josh. You would have to get really effing personal with me to find it.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge to me.
Well, hey, man, I mean, It's just I've never no woman's ever commented on it. Most of them probably never even noticed it because you'd have to get really personal.
So you've had it for a while?
Oh, I believe since the day I was born.
Oh, really? I didn't know that's how they worked.
That's neat.
Oh, I don't. I believe it's been there from the word go.
Well, I'm not sure, huh?
It makes you different. My boyfriend has a birthmark. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Like how large?
I'm kidding, of course.
Maybe like the size of a quarter.
A quarter? Whoa!
On his nuts?
Is it on
takes up like the whole thing?
Where is it?
Yeah, it's on the top, the very top
Of what?
of the penis.
The head?
Yep.
Is
I
that
wasn't sure if I could say head.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Does he have to shave it?
Cute. No, it's just
I'm kidding.
It's just like a little.
It's cute.
It's just a little bit darker than the rest of the skin.
Well, I'll be damned. Next time I see him, he and I are going to talk about that.
Yeah, he'll show you his if you show him.
Well, he likes looking at urinals. We know that. You've told us that he checks out other dudes' dongs at urinals before, so we know that about him. So he must be cool if we then take a look as well, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One of my favorite moments, I think, of any live broadcast was when you brought up that he checked out another man's penis and then came back and told you how great it was. I enjoyed you told that story, and we were looking at him as you revealed what he just did, and he had a look on his face as if, I told you that in confidence. Yeah. Why would you ever bring that up?
I loved it. That was the best part, was the look on his face.
Oh, it was awesome.
Why, Ashley? Why?
He was so red.
Seriously?
You know what? I'm with him. Lawrence, whatever his name is.
Jeremy.
I'm with him. I don't necessarily like the guy. I don't. But in that moment, I wish I could have been standing shoulder to shoulder with him in defiance against what you had done to him. There was absolutely no reason to make that information public. And I, like Josh said, I have never seen a grown man with such a look of pure abandonment on his face.
Yeah,
what you did was wrong.
It was betrayal.
I know.
I think he would have rather had you cheat on him with somebody there in Turtle Lake.
In front of him.
Yeah, it was great too, because I'm thinking, well, this is the wrong crowd to let that one go. And I saw him hear about that quite a few times.
Yeah.
Whole rest of the weekend.
It got brought up like a week ago from one of his buddies even.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Is it possible that Lawrence is listening right now?
He will be later.
Okay, then I want to throw this at Lawrence. How about this, dude? How about our next trip to Turtle Lake, we give him a mic at the live broadcast.
Oh, hell yes.
And he can dump one of your damn most embarrassing secrets out to hundreds of thousands of people.
No.
There's only one way that I think we can square things up between the two of them, don't you think, Josh?
That seems fair.
Oh, that'd
Eye
be
for an
awful. He knows things.
Good.
We're counting on that.
You have, quid pro quo. You have to allow that to happen.
I deserve
That's only
it.
fair.
Yep.
All right, we better get moved. Oh, my God. Oh, I really, honestly, I had no idea it was already 6:15. Jesus.
Time flies when you're talking about labia.
Yeah, and it's Monday. I just completely forgot how we normally do things. Real quick before we take a break, something that I spent a little time with over the weekend. AC/DC is back performing live concerts. I believe they just started a world tour, and I saw some on YouTube, and they look terrible.
Oh, they meaning the look of them, or what do you mean by that?
Yeah, they just look.
Oh, got it.
They look old, but it sounded pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they look old. It sounded pretty good. AC/DC. Maybe we'll get something happening around here in town. Okay, it's a huge day. Timberwolves moving on to the Western Conference playoffs. We got into that, and we will again with Randy and Brad here a little bit later. For now, we'll take a little break, come back with the stupid news.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the Just Capital seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 for ongoing commitment to their workers with initiatives like Sharing Success, which awarded 97% of their teammates additional compensation, nearly all in stock. This is the program's 7th consecutive year, awarding more than $4.8 billion in total. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, we're just coming up on the stupid news here. First, I had a few text messages I wanted you to know about. We were talking earlier about how today is Rescue Dog Day, or Put Your Dog in a Rescue Day. No, really, it's some kind of recognition of rescue dogs and the folks who help them out. Mighty Millimeter Jesus texted in earlier, and he wanted to give a shout-out to a joint called No Dogs Left Behind. He has fostered... How many dogs, you think, Josh, has Mighty Millimeter?
33.
Oh, he's right on the money. The correct answer is 33.
Dang, how'd you get that?
Because the guy texted the show.
Oh.
Dr. P. Jesus, who's going to join us later to answer questions about usually genitalia or beeholes and stuff like that. He's recently gotten to the rescue game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he hates it.
He loves it. He's, he gets, whatever he gets into, he goes full bore.
Oh, yes.
Pickleball and now rescue dogs. It was kind of funny. We had asked him about the name. What's the meaning behind the name and kind of the mission statement and stuff, and he had no idea.
He struggled to come up with a website.
Yeah, no clue really how that is, but he's been fostering dogs, and he's passionate about it.
That's what he's into lately. All right, we talked a little bit about the Timberwolves and their big win last night. Josh likes to talk about how, he's a recent fan. He watched one game this season, but since the playoffs, he's buck wild.
Oh, I'm on the bandwagon big time.
Yeah. So is Big Rigger Jesus. You can tell by his text message. He says, Big Rigger Jesus checking in. I never really watched much baseball, but I do now. And he closes out his text by saying, Go Wolves. Go Wolves.
I love the Timberwolves.
He's brand new to the mix, too, Josh.
Hey, that's fine. And it's funny. I appreciate the people texting me and thanking me for what I've done for this team. They haven't lost a series since I've been watching.
They have not. And, of course, we love just a plain old-fashioned check-in where you text 651-989-9393 and just let us know who you are and that you're there with us this or any other morning. Brand new check-in from racially ambiguous Jesus.
I'd like to know what races are we going between here?
I don't know. But I'm curious. He says, what's up, fellas? And Ashley.
Hi.
That's all you got for racially ambiguous Jesus?
He just said my name.
That's true.
If he said Ash, it'd be a little bit different. I love when people call me Ash.
You do?
Makes me melt.
I had no idea. I will never call you that then because of the last thing you said.
Smashly it is.
All right, here's a question that's been thrown around town the last couple of days. Maybe some of you have heard about it. Who the hell is blasting classical music late at night in, by God, what's the town right next door here? St. Paul. Who the hell is blasting classical music at all hours of the night in St. Paul?
It's been a long time since I've been downtown Minneapolis. But they used to play classical music at bar close to get people out, usually at really loud volumes. I don't know if they're still doing that or not.
I never experienced that.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been going on. I mean, the article says there were a couple nights last week where it was really overwhelming, but also the story leads me to believe that this has been going on for a long time. Police have been called up a time or two to investigate the music, and where in the living hell it's coming from. Mentioned here in the article is the area of Pascal Street and University Avenue. Some folks have described it as eerie. The music is pumping during the overnight hours. Again, it says here last Tuesday night into Wednesday and then Wednesday night into Thursday. But I've read some other information that says it's been way more than just a couple of days. Opera and other famous classical tunes have been blasting, don't you know? And for a while there, nobody could figure out where the hell it was coming from. The word is now that the St. Paul police sniffed it out, and the music was coming from an old vacant Herberger's store in the neighborhood. Herberger's. What do they do there?
Is that closed?
Yeah.
I've never been to a Herberger's.
Yeah, my grandma would always go there.
Oh, is that kind of a grandma store?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was there to meet men. The Terrible Opera has nothing to do with what they were selling there, Josh. She was there to get some. The Terrible Opera, and well, I guess some think it's terrible. I thought it sounded quite good. And classical music is supposedly some type of anti-loitering device at the store. So this is what I understand. It plays the music to force derelicts to relocate if they're just hanging around too damn long out front the store.
Nothing grinds my gears more than when I'm trying to loiter and then they start bumping the classical music.
Oh, I like some of the classical music, no matter what I'm doing.
Even if you're loitering?
Any crime, doesn't matter.
So this is a vacant store, but yet their anti-derelict classical music apparatus is still operational.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, that's not uncommon. They're just blasting the classical music to get people out of there. That's unfortunate for classical music fans. Let's play something that people think sucks so bad, they'll leave.
They use my favorite genre of music to get people to want to not be there anymore.
I'm not sure if anything's changed in the last couple of days, but it says here that cops have been unable to shut it off. It's private property. People in the neighborhood will need to make a complaint to the owner of the building to see if there's a way to get the music turned off or down so someone doesn't go insane from this. I've never been to a bar where they started piping in opera music to get me to go home.
Yeah, it was outside, like in the street.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a real pain in the ass out that way.
You pick them up, you drop them. Jesus wants to know if we've ever been to Furburgers. Yes, I have. Yeah.
All right. Here is an interesting way to possibly go to prison for killing somebody dead or disabling them forever. In Portland, Oregon, someone has been throwing canned food off the roof of a 23-story building for the last effing 6 weeks. Jesus, I imagine, Josh, if a can of baked beans, how do you call those things?
Baked beans?
Baked beans. Big summertime staple at my house.
Me too.
We
Love
go through a lot of them in the summer.
They're very good.
If a can of baked beans rings you off the skull from 23 stories, you're at least going to go into a deep sleep.
I would think so. Or it's going to get lodged in your head or something like that.
There are smashed cans of raviolis and bean with bacon soup, whatever. There are smashed cans of food all over the sidewalk surrounding this building. Cars are getting dented up.
Oh, no.
The name of the joint, the building, is the Ladd Tower. Again, in Portland, folks who live and work in the building are seeing canned food plummeting down out of the sky as they're looking out their windows. Nobody wants to come near the building. They fear that a fat can of soup or something is going to crack their skull open for them. There have been a few close calls already. There are school kids walking by the building every day. Folks are going to restaurants and all that in this neighborhood, so this is a real effing problem.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how that would be fun to drop something off, but that's way too dangerous. There's too many people walking by there.
Yeah, we were pretty reckless. This has got to be kids. If I'm in charge of this investigation, I'm starting with anyone in the building who's got teenage kids. And so that's my assumption. And when we were that age, yeah, we were pretty reckless and could have killed some people. It's one thing to fire cans of beans off the roof once. They've been doing this for a month and a half. Doesn't it dawn on you at one point or another? Oh, God, I might end up killing a kid here.
Some people are pretty stupid. Remember the guy, I think it was North Loop or it was certainly Minneapolis, he was whipping stuff off his balcony.
Oh, yeah.
There a few days in a row.
No.
It was a couple of years back we talked about it.
What was he throwing at folks?
I don't remember. It was like some big stuff, though. It was like things in his house or his apartment. He just decided, that's going outside, and just threw it right over the balcony.
Oh.
Goodbye, AC unit.
Adios, grand piano.
Imagine them making an insurance claim. Oh, was it hail damage? No, baked beans, actually. Baked beans.
Uncle Ken's? Yes, it was.
So everyone in this building is on the lookout to find the prick who's putting on this death from above canned food gimmick. But so far, they got nothing. The police in Portland have described this as extremely troubling. Police is looking for the public's help. And I think that's probably the best idea. Someone's going to sell out this douchebag.
Hope so.
Yeah, someone will speak up.
They got to stop. I mean, obviously, it sounds like they're not going to stop until somebody puts a stop to it for them. Oil Pumpin' Jesus said, used to work on cell towers. Even a tiny washer falling from 200 to 300 feet could kill a guy.
Dude.
When we were kids, we'd go to the beach in Wayzata and throw rocks at people's docks and their boats and whatnot. And I mean, time of my life, we were little kids. I mean, well, I don't know, maybe I'd say 6th or 7th grade. Having a great time. We would throw these rocks as far as we could, and then to hear them bonk, ring off a boat. And no one in the boat. I'm talking about, boats tied to dock, not a boat going by, but boats tied. Hearing the rock hit the canopy above the boat. Oh, God, we were having a great time. And then here comes, I'll never forget this because I thought, oh, God, I'm going to jail. Here comes a guy with his wife, and she's pouring blood out of her forehead.
Oh, jeez.
Because we had hit her in the head with a rock.
Oh, jeez.
And it was almost, it was very frightening for me because, like I said, I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to be incarcerated for the next 5 years. It also was kind of odd that he had his wife by the arm, forcing her to come over to show the wound, where she had a look on her face like, hey, douchebag, just take me to the hospital. Why are you parading me? But he wanted everyone to see what had been done. He didn't know it was us, and we acted like, oh, we're just over here playing in the lake, right? But he's like, who did this to my wife? Where's the son of a bitch? I thought, oh, my God, I've finally gone and done it. I'm not going to see my family for the next 10 years. So it's a lot of fun when you're a kid and you're effing off like that until you finally see that you really hurt somebody. That wasn't a fun feeling.
Angry bus driver Jesus said it doesn't take much to make something dangerous going at speed. He said at his old bus job, a kid chucked a piece of pizza out the window at 35 miles an hour, and it obliterated a person's headlight.
What?
I wouldn't have thought pizza could do that much damage.
Yeah.
Outside of gut rot.
Yeah, waste of a slice of pizza, in my opinion.
Oh, man. Cheating on your significant other. Nothing but fun.
Zero repercussions whatsoever.
Well, there is always the chance that you'll get caught. Fine. There is that chance. Years ago, I had a girlfriend, and every time she found out that I was cheating on her, it was always an argument.
You've dated some high-maintenance girls.
Andrew Dice Clay, The Day the Laughter Died, 1990. So, yes, there is the possibility that you'll be caught. And at that point, things can get ugly. Here's a fun cheating story for today's Stupid News Report. A female veterinarian says that she was just starting a new job last week when they had someone bring in a very sick puppy. Oh, my God. Sick puppy. They had to dump an X-ray on the puppy, and the puppy made a little poop while the X-ray was happening. Just a little poop.
Nervous poop, maybe.
Yeah, it's a nervous poop. That has nothing to do with the story.
Paints the picture.
It does.
They did an X-ray and realized the dog had gone ahead and eaten something, and it had tangled up in the dog's guts. Oh, for Christ's sake. Then they had to perform an emergency surgery and pulled out a pair of thong-style underwears. They told the owner, this lady, and she didn't understand. What do you mean? What? A thong ski? This was confusing to the lady owner because she doesn't own a thong.
Really? In 2024?
Yeah, F me, isn't that? That's a story in itself right there.
I know a couple women that prefer, I guess, like regular underwear.
Well, so you're saying Cisco wrote that song for nothing?
Well,
Yes.
he was maybe encouraging folks that don't own thongs.
Oh, I know plenty of women who prefer, regular underwears, but every damn one of them's at least got one pair of thongs.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
the
your Saturday
pair.
night thong.
Yeah.
What about like those boy shorts? Oh, those are pretty cool, right?
So comfy.
Yeah, they're nice. But I like to see a lot more skin.
Have you guys heard of this underbutt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I like that.
I'm aware of underbutt.
Yeah.
I know that you're passionate about it yourself.
I'm a fan.
So here we go. Lady owner, sick puppy. And the, the vets did an X-ray, and they found that the dog had swallowed a pair of thong underpants. And the lady says, but I don't own any. So the lady calls her husband and found out that her husband was cheating on her, and it was his side actions drawers that the dog had chomped up.
No. You're never, ever going to, no matter how many I's you dot, T's you cross, how careful you are not to get caught, that's tough to predict.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something you can't, I don't know if you can prepare for something like that.
No, I don't think you can, Cubby. I think you're right.
That's God intervening right there.
So then, of course, the vet feels terrible that she, told the woman this. And, well, how's the vet supposed to know that? The dog, it says here, could have easily died if the husband's side piece's sexy thong panties hadn't been removed from his boiler. The dog will be fine. The marriage, we're not so sure.
Yeah.
Tough
to know. Sometimes you don't come back from that.
Oh!
Vertically challenged Jesus says she doesn't own one thong. Not a one.
Not a one.
Not a one, she says.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, shame on you.
Underbutt, Josh?
Yep.
That's your thing.
I like it.
What about under nut? A couple of dudes in our listening audience said that they like to show a little under nut.
Dude, I sat on mine the wrong way a couple days ago. I'm still not recovered.
Oh, poor guy.
That was terrible. I need new kitchen table seats. They're these like cheap wood ones. Does some damage.
You want to talk nuts for a minute?
I'd love to. I wrote it down. I was hoping to talk about nuts.
What did you do? You're buying.
I kind of sat on them wrong. Our kitchen table, the seats are wood, right? So there's no give, obviously, when you sit down.
Right.
And I sat down, and my right leg decided to go a little bit too close to my left, and it squished them.
Ooh.
And by the way, no sympathy from the family whatsoever. I'm in great pain.
They don't get it. They don't. They're insensitive.
And everybody's laughing like it's funny to get hurt in your testicles or penis.
They actually sent us pictures of you writhing in pain.
Doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. They're ungrateful and they're insensitive, and they always have been. They always will be. But what I was going to ask you was, you're thinking about buying some padded seats.
Yeah, or just maybe new ones in general. I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah, good call.
At least for me, they don't deserve it, I guess.
You don't want that to happen again. But I just got a question about NADS. You know how those two pills in that
scrotum?
That scrotum. Mm-hmm. When it's really cold, they suck up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You know when mine go shooting up into my abdomen otherwise?
When?
When I have a stomach ache.
Really?
Yes. When I'm sick.
Yeah.
Mine get very small.
Well, specifically stomach. If I have a cold or a flu, then it does. But I'm talking about when I have stomach problems, my nuts just go weep way up into my body.
Yeah, it's whenever I'm sick.
Okay, any kind of sickness. Okay, I just wanted to ask.
I want to ask. Look, we got to remember to ask Dr. P if that's a known thing or if you guys, it's just kind of an anomaly for you. I've never noticed.
When I overeat, and you get that kind of deep gut rot feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My nuts are nowhere to be found.
Wow.
Check
just
out,
like
no nuts.
Vacuums them. Well, you know what? Dana and Ashley are always sick. Cough in my face, and then everybody, let's measure my testicles. I'd like to see if it works for me too. I've just never noticed.
Josh and I, we were part of a scrotum thickness test. This really happened many years ago. We got some instrument.
Yeah, my calipers, my wife uses. She's a personal trainer, so body fat calipers, basically.
We put body fat calipers on my nuts, on Cubby's, and on former Vikings punter Chris Kluwe. We all passed this thing around the room and measured.
It's a bit of a contest.
Yeah, it was a contest. Measured the thickness of our scrotum. I won by a lot.
Do you remember how it started? Because I do.
No.
So we were talking about scrotums, and I had mentioned how, gosh, it's just like rice paper. Scrotums are so thin, and everybody else was agreeing except for you, and you're like, what do you mean they're thin? It's like it's thick.
Yeah. Okay.
And
now
we're
I
saying,
do remember.
What do you
that.
mean it's thick? They're thin. So we decided just to see the differences.
Yeah, and if I remember right, you described my bag ski as like a leather glove.
Yeah, something like Indiana Jones would keep jewels in.
Right.
So worn in catcher's mitt.
That was brilliant. Something that Indiana Jones would keep his valuable jewels in. And I loved it. One other time, I think you described your scrotum as, was it shrimp paper or something?
Rice paper.
Rice paper.
It was
like from a spring roll.
Okay, that is.
Yeah.
I thought there was a different
Not
term.
a fried spring roll.
The see-through.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Right.
You can see all the lettuce and carrot shreds and everything that's inside a scrotum.
Right. We have very different bags.
We do, and that's what kind of makes us a good pair.
Opposites attract.
Yeah.
All right. Friggin' dirty potheads. Reefer addicts. They're always up to something shady. Now they've gone ahead and desecrated the tulip garden at the beautiful Wisconsin State Capitol building. Someone went ahead and planted marijuana amongst the tulips at the beautiful, beautiful Wisconsin State Capitol building. They think they're cute. They do. They think it's funny.
I mean,
but luckily,
kind of funny.
It's not funny.
A little bit.
Oh, not at all?
It's not funny at all.
I think it's pretty funny.
Not just like
It's not.
Not a smidge?
No.
Bring in the calipers.
Luckily, the illegal drugs were discovered before they could be turned into a joint stick and harm another innocent child.
Okay, now I see what you're saying.
Is it still funny, guys? Really funny?
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think it's funny.
You do. You do. It's funny when kids get hooked on drugs. It's funny. I see where you're at now.
So, yeah, I'm on Nick's side.
Yeah.
So, Dana, that's the hill you're dying on, huh?
Yeah.
You want kids hooked on
You
drugs.
like when kids get hooked on drugs.
Drugs for kids. Drugs for kids.
Their life becomes a total disaster. Okay, cool.
Yep. Just peeing away all that potential.
Nobody.
That's it.
Right. Nobody knows who's responsible for this. A little more information for you, Dana. Mr. Funny.
Mr.
Pablo Escobar over there.
Right. Maybe you need to hear this. Marijuana remains illegal in all forms in Wisconsin. All forms. And if I have my way, that will never change.
I'm completely other way. I'm going to grow all the marijuana for all the kids in Wisconsin.
And we ran smooth out of time. We did. With all this other information. Look at all this, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
But we had to talk about our testicles for a while.
Yeah, a few people didn't appreciate that they were having breakfast, but it was educational. They've changed their plans from going to a Vietnamese restaurant this afternoon.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
You want to kiss me? said he
Indeed.
Wanted to kiss you. Huh? He said he wanted to kiss you. That's so ironic that he said that because I saw a picture of him dancing at 16 doing that little dance on YouTube, and for some reason I had an erection.
Okay.
Come on.
That's got to be one of those things where it's improvised, and a second later you go, what have I done? I just admitted or maybe not admitted, I just said a 16-year-old boy gave me an erection.
Which one of these Paul guys again is
Jake.
this? Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are going to have this fake patty cake pillow fight in a month or so. And they had some kind of press conference. Good Lord. Please tell me no one in our listening audience is falling for this crap. But anyway, what did Jake Paul say? I didn't catch it. He said, Mike is cute. How did it start?
Yeah, something like that about wanting to kiss him or something. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, I want to kiss Mike Tyson,
yeah,
he says.
And Tyson's like, oh, that's funny because when you were 16, you gave me a boner.
What the? These are not the guys to give live microphones to.
Nope.
It's horrible. Just stop it. This whole thing is such a disaster. But it makes for some fun audio.
I picture his corner guy or somebody afterwards saying, Mike, do you realize what you said?
Please, Mike, stop talking.
How do you think it went? Actually, Mike, not so well.
Yeah. You were aroused by a teenager is what you said.
F me running. All right, we're not going to hang around here too long because we got plenty of time in about a half hour to jaw jack up and down about... Don't get me wrong, the Wolves game deserves to be talked about. That was wonderful. Just effing thrilling what they did last night. They beat those bastards in their building. It was just beautiful what the Wolves accomplished last night. But we won't just cover the Wolves. The Twins are kind of in a miserable rut. Hockey, plenty to talk about. But for now, make way. Cubbies news is next.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
Afford Anything talks about how to avoid common pitfalls, how to refine your mental models, and how to think about how to think.
Paula, while certainly you can mess up on $1 million a year, it is far less likely than it is on $30,000 a year.
Right.
I would meet wonderful people that were struggling with a budget that was super tight. It was 100% you need to make more money.
Make smarter choices and build a better life.
Afford Anything, wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
First thought was, why don't we know that this happened? Second of all, my thought is, what kind of background checks are happening at the school? My third thought is, how was this discovered in the first place? I feel like we need more information.
Unfortunately, she only had 3 thoughts. I was hoping that would keep going.
So did I.
Now what the hell's happening at the schools, Josh?
Well, a second-grade teacher, Spotswood Elementary School in the state of Virginia.
Spotswood?
Yeah. Dana's mom does that. She was arrested Thursday after being found under the influence of drugs in the classroom.
Oh, my God.
A school resource officer discovered 35-year-old Candace Carter appeared to be drugged up. A subsequent investigation uncovered suspected narcotics in her class. During the incident, Carter's husband, Christopher, was found in a vehicle in the school parking lot, also under the influence of suspected narcotics, and he actually was in need of medical attention.
Engine 4, overdose. Spotswood Elementary School. Outside, where a male went unresponsive. They've given him Narcan twice.
A 2-year-old child was in the vehicle with him.
I would really like to know what the school is going to put in place to make sure this doesn't happen again.
The school board said Spotsylvania County Public Schools takes all reports of alleged personnel misconduct very seriously and follows applicable district policies and procedures when responding to and investigating complaints.
I was hoping for applicable district policies. I was. Wow, this is something. So she's in the classroom, high off her ass, teaching kids. Her husband is lurching around the parking lot overdosing.
Yeah, with their kid in the back. Well, a kid, which presumably their kid.
These two are something.
I learned it from watching you.
Oh.
In this next story, it was the kids on drugs. 8 teenagers got acutely ill after they were transported to a hospital following an ingestion of marijuana edibles during a field trip to the Labia tar pits in Los Angeles.
Boy, I hope one of them doesn't make it, Dana said.
I wish more of them were hooked on drugs, said Dana.
Get them all hooked.
What was your chant earlier?
Drugs for kids. Drugs for kids.
An on-site security officer found the sickened students and called 911 last Tuesday afternoon. The Labia tar pit said, hey, we had nothing to do with it. They were high when they got here. Authorities seized 10 pounds of the drug ketamine disguised as plastic children's toys at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport.
Whoa.
Ketamine has been increasingly abused recreationally in recent years. However, it's also been used in the successful treatment of certain mental and emotional issues and is gaining popularity when used therapeutically in clinical settings. They just don't want people doing it recreationally.
Sure.
A fire chief in New Jersey was caught on camera allegedly vandalizing a rare vehicle. Nissan only made 30 JDM 270Rs for the Japanese domestic market. They're exceptionally rare, highly sought after by fans of the brand or JDM performance vehicles, so it's worth a fair bit of cash, which is what makes the chief's actions all that more painful, the owner said.
Nissan, back in 1995, only produced 30 of these cars, and I have car number 5. It's very hard to import a car. There's a lot of legal things you have to go through.
Surveillance footage shows the chief throwing a Home Depot bucket full of rocks, mud, and gravel onto the back of the rare Nissan.
Well, why would he do that?
Well, it sounds like there was a property dispute.
Oh.
The owner says the Nissan suffered scratches and dents from the alleged act of vandalism. At the time of the incident, the owner said it was parked next to the fire station but was on his property. He also claims the chief was upset about water from the victim's sump pump draining onto the firehouse property, so he took it out on his car. For now, the chief is facing a charge of third-degree criminal mischief.
Smart move, dude.
Yeah.
You got like a 1 in 30 car in the world and you don't keep it in a garage?
I had the same thought.
Yeah. You just park down the street?
I thought the same thing. Maybe he spent so much money on the car he couldn't afford a garage.
That's all he had.
Exactly. I know guys like that. I mean, they'll go hungry before they'll sacrifice their cool, brand new pickup kind of a thing.
A Florida woman was arrested Wednesday after police say she broke into a Naples home, hugged the homeowner, and then jumped in their swimming pool. A 79-year-old woman called 911 to report a woman broke into her home while she was inside. The suspect, later identified as Natalie Slavic, entered the house and then gave an unwanted hug to the homeowner. Slavic then made herself at home by sitting on a chair in the living room, resting on a bed for several minutes, then proceeding to jump in their pool, all before leaving the residence. Slavic, who operates the social media company Natalie Knows Naples, didn't know the resident of the house she unlawfully entered, and as a result was placed under arrest for trespassing.
Well, that must have been awful confusing for the homeowner there.
Yeah, I'd kind of, she's 79. Maybe your mind is slipping a little bit. I don't know, but I think for me, I would wonder, do I know her? And I'd be embarrassed to pretend or to say I didn't know her in case I did. That would be very odd.
Does the old lady smoke rock, or what was the problem there?
They didn't say. She had to be under the influence of something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't say specifically what was going on. Grandma groped Goofy. Those are the shocking allegations a cast member raised at Epcot earlier this year, according to a recently released sheriff's report. The 32-year-old male cast member who worked as a costumed character was taking a picture around 10:30 a.m. with a family of 4. 3 of the family members posed on his right, while Grandma stood to his left and put her arm around him. The grandmother then placed her right hand on his buttocks and squeezed her hand 3 times, the report said. During the squeezing, the grandmother said, "Woohoo!" After the photo was taken, the victim stopped the meet and greet to alert his attendant that he'd been groped. The grandmother stated with an attitude, "What? I guess he doesn't want us here," according to the report, which described her as being in her 60s, wearing leggings with a black Minnie Mouse shirt that read Nana Mouse. The victim told law enforcement he wanted to prosecute the horny grandma for battery.
He does, huh?
Yes. Unfortunately, it's not the first time Disney guests have violated and mistreated cast members. Over the years, Disney World princesses, costumed characters, and other cast members have reported visitors grabbing them inappropriately.
Man, didn't you say your grandmothers were pretty promiscuous people, Josh?
My wife's grandma was. Very promiscuous. They used to have to, in the old folks' home, they had to lock her door at night because she'd sneak into gentlemen's rooms.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, didn't she have interest in everybody but you?
You know, Ashley, that is true, but it's a painful memory, and you didn't need to bring it up.
I'm sorry.
Yes, my wife had warned me, hey, just so you know, she hits on every guy. She's a horny old lady, so don't be offended. And I thought, oh, no, it's adorable. And never once. Not once.
Josh goes out of his way to try to put the vibe out a little bit, to try to get something going.
Now, she was in her late 90s when my wife and I got married. And at the wedding, she did tell my wife that she was pretty enough to be the bride. That's kind of where her head was at towards the end. But yeah, she never came on to me, Ashley, never said one thing, nothing.
That sucks.
30-year-old Corey Peckins.
If I were an old lady, I'd put the moves on you, Josh.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What about Corey Peckers?
Corey Peckins. He was observed exposing his genitals and masturbating at Nashville's Palmer Park earlier this month. So to sum up the story, Peckins played with his pecker at Palmer Park. Well, bad news, Dana.
Uh-oh.
Necrophilia will soon be illegal in Michigan. The legislation, SBs 841, 842, and 843, assigns criminal penalties for varying degrees of sexual contact with a dead human body, from sexual contact to sexual penetration, which would carry up to 15 years in prison.
I want to talk about a buzzkill.
Yeah, I got to find a new summer vacation now. Michigan's out.
It's insane that this has just become illegal. And I kind of wonder how that goes throughout the rest of the country. It should be one of those things that's an unwritten rule, but they have to penalize this.
Yeah, we got away with that loophole for a long time, didn't we?
We sure did. The Michigan Senate Civil Rights, Judiciary, and Public Safety Committee voted the bills through unanimously, and they will now head to the Senate floor.
Oh, well, there you go.
A New York man swindled more than $1.3 million from friends, neighbors, and investors by, among other things, getting them to invest in bogus real estate projects involving a company named after a joke in the TV comedy Seinfeld, as well as a fictitious cryptocurrency. From 2019 through 2022, 55-year-old John Spraga held himself out as the owner and principal of multiple businesses, including Vandelay Contracting Corp. And Build Strong Homes, LLC. In the television show Seinfeld, the character George Costanza falsely claimed to have interviewed for a job with a fictional company called Vandelay Industries. In the episode, the invariably hapless Costanza claims he was seeking a position as a latex salesman.
Did anybody call here asking for Vandelay Industries? No, what happened to you? I was at the unemployment office, and I told them I was very close to getting a job with Vandelay Industries, and I gave them your phone number. So when the phone rings, you have to answer, Vandelay Industries.
I'm Vandelay Industries?
Right.
What is that?
You're in latex.
He faces a maximum possible sentence of 20 years in prison.
Oh!
Yeah. Dabney Coleman, a legend in Hollywood, best known for his villainous turn in the 1980 Dolly Parton comedy 9 to 5, died last Thursday. A cause of death wasn't revealed, but he reportedly canceled an April appearance due to some health issues. In addition to his memorable work in 9 to 5, he had almost 200 acting credits on his resume.
Dude.
Appearing in a number of TV shows and films over the years, including You've Got Mail, War Games, Tootsie, Boardwalk Empire, and his final acting credit in an episode of Yellowstone, in which he acted opposite Kevin Costner while playing John Dutton Sr. Dabney Coleman was 92.
Would you like to play a game? Dabney Coleman, in the 1980s, to me, it seems like the man never took a week off.
He was in everything for a while.
Everything.
I like that guy
Yeah,
quite a
me
bit.
too.
The highly anticipated Grand Theft Auto 6 will be released in the fall of 2025.
Womp womp.
The narrowed window of the release date, previously defined only as the year 2025, was announced Thursday by the publisher. That countered industry rumors that the delayed production could push the game's release back to 2026. So not quite 2026, but close. The latest edition of GTA has been anticipated for years. Grand Theft Auto 5 released September of 2013. Since then, it sold more than 200 million units, which ranks behind only Tetris and Minecraft as one of the best-selling games of all time.
See, they can do whatever they want because they know it's going to sell like crazy.
Oh, they got people.
So annoying.
I'm playing one of the best-selling games of all time right now while I'm listening to Cubby's news report.
Tetris. You love Tetris.
Oh, that was Minecraft.
I'm playing.
Yeah, he's Minecraft.
What's Minecraft? Grand Theft Auto never would have gotten to where they are today without Josh and I.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. True. A lot of people bring that up.
Our appearance in San Andreas is pretty much what, drove that business.
Yes, it somehow got erased from their Wikipedia page, no matter how many times we put it on there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some truth behind
No
it.
no credit given at all.
None. Busta Rhymes, 52 today. Tony Stewart, 53. Timothy Oliphant, 56. Cher, 78.
Oh.
Happy birthday to my niece, Ninja Audrey, hitting the double digits today, turning the big 1-0. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
I'm a big guy. I'm a big, strong guy.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's going to be the greatest Game 7 of all time. The greatest Game 7 of all time.
That's it. The Timberwolves have knocked out the defending champion Denver Nuggets. They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
I'm feeling great. I haven't seen this for 20 years. It's one of the best moments of my entire life as a Timberwolves fan. Everyone here will remember this for the rest of their lives, where they won Game 7 at Denver.
Special moment, man. This is a hell of a team with the best player on the planet. The series was wild, and this game was just a microcosm of the entire series.
It shows the confidence and the character that we have. We're never going to quit. Put every piece of effort on the floor. Each and every person's character. Nobody on this team will quit.
Just look at their roster. They have basically 2 All-Stars, 2 first defensive players in the year. Mike Conley, who is the most underrated player in the NBA, probably. I mean, I love the guy. He's so good. And from the bench, they have a 6th player of the year. They can do literally everything. They can be big, small.
The season's over. That's what's hard. Being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard. Stupid-ass questions.
I have not been to Minnesota in probably 20 years. Bring your ass.
Go ahead and bring your ass. How effing thrilling was that ball game last night? F-U Denver, F-U Jokic, your S-A-W-F-T soft. Jamal Murray should quit the game of basketball. And who needs Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith when we got Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver here to talk about last night's ball game and many other things. Good morning, fools.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I mean, amazing. Thrilling.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Improbable in a lot of ways.
I think a lot of Wolves fans, when they were down by 20 early third quarter, thought, oh boy, this thing is, unfortunately, it's just not going to turn itself around. And then Denver started taking these three-point shots and these different kind of shots and stopped really playing the way that they were capable of playing. And you could just see the Wolves look around and say to themselves, man, as they started to chip away, we're back in this game. And that's all it took.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that little momentum that, missed shots, and then the Wolves would come down and make a shot. And in the previous 3 games they lost, when that started to happen like that, Denver would find a way to make those baskets, to keep that margin, whatever it was, 10 points, 12 points, whatever. That didn't happen last night, and you could just see the whole thing turn itself around. It was pretty impressive.
Well, many fans, I don't think any fans, if you'd have told anybody, they were down 20 when Murray hit the corner 3 with about 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. So they went from being down 20 to being down 1 at the end of the third quarter. But here's the other thing I was looking at. Anthony Edwards didn't score the entire fourth quarter until there were 3 minutes left. If you look at the play-by-play summary of the game, it's everybody else.
Team effort.
That's what won him the game. I mean, it was. I mean, obviously Edwards had a piece in it, but the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter, if you go back and go online and look at the play-by-play of the game, it's everybody else chipping in. That's what won him the game because Denver's everybody else didn't show up.
And, Anthony Edwards' skill set last night was defending Jamal Murray, dumping some assists out on his teammates. So, he helped out in other ways. But down 20 points, like you mentioned, in the beginning of the third quarter. They had one of their worst halves of the season. Their star player wasn't doing dick as far as scoring goes, but the Wolves came back in glorious fashion to win Game 7 with the Denver Nuggets. They eliminated those bastards at their effing barn. That was absolutely terrific. A masterpiece, some called it. A masterpiece.
Yeah.
And apparently,
very impressive.
Apparently, a 15-point halftime deficit's the largest comeback in Game 7 in NBA playoff history. I wasn't aware of that. I would have thought it would have been a bigger margin than that.
Was that overall or on the road? I didn't hear which one it was.
Let's just say it's the greatest comeback in sports history. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was. That was such a ballsy team effort by the Timberwolves last night. Their defense won them last night's game. Their defense picked up and was tenacious. Like Randy was saying, they saw a little bit of blood in the water, the way Denver was behaving once they had that 20-point lead. They got 23 from Carl, who was terrific, 23 from McDaniels. They got Nas involved. Rudy Gobert.
Nas in the fourth quarter was amazing.
Yes. Rudy Gobert hit a 15-foot fadeaway jump shot, okay?
when he made that shot,
on the
I said game over. They're not going to lose the game if he's making that shot.
No way.
It was very Kevin McHale-like, and it's the first time you could ever say that Rudy reminded you of Kevin McHale. That was so hilarious. Watching the bench react to that was...
Oh, my God, yeah, they were dying.
And then Edwards... hitting the big Nas, the big shot that put the Wolves up 10 with, I don't know, what was there, about 3 minutes left. Nas drives the lane, dishes it out to Edwards, and when Edwards hit that shot, I finally said to myself, oh, my God, they're going to do this.
I'm looking at it here.
And that came
at 3 minutes and 7 seconds left when that happened. That was the final nail.
That came after the big Nas Reed dunk.
Yes.
One-handed dunk off the missed shot. That sequence was the sequence that basically put the ball game away. It was insane.
It was
fantastic.
Yeah, it was 85-82 with 5 minutes left, and then Reed made a couple free throws. Reed made the dunk, and then Edwards made the three.
That was one that I'll never forget. Back to Rudy's beautiful fadeaway jump shot. That nobody had any doubt at all that it was going to be all net.
I think he doubted himself.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
He had no idea.
What am I... He probably
the
thought,
shot
what am I
clock
doing?
was running
Why am
down
I doing this?
in his defense. It wasn't part of the offense. That's not a new play they put in for the game last night.
What's that?
Yeah, it wasn't
I said that wasn't the new wrinkle they put in the offense last night.
No, absolutely not. That was a prayer.
Yeah.
Even the announcers were kind of like, are you serious? That was great.
I threw my hands up in the air like, are you kidding me? And then just left them up and like, yes, I knew it was going in all along.
I mean, anytime he has the ball in his hands for longer than 1 second, I panic. I do. Local 322 Jesus texted in earlier and said, my mom looked at me after the Rudy fadeaway and asked, why am I going so crazy? And I said, Mom, you had as good a chance of making that shot as he did. I mean, I can't say enough of what a hell of a just gutsy, tough team effort that was to win. What I believe I have this correct. At least I'm in the neighborhood. The Wolves outscored the Nuggets in the second half something like 67-38.
Yeah, it was
something
around
like
67-33.
Nuggets had under 40. I know that.
Just beautiful. They held them under 100 again. No one could do that to Denver this year. Hold them under 100. And Josh and I were having fun talking about the two highlights for us. Anthony Edwards dribbling up the court as the game is decided, and he waves sarcastically to the crowd.
That's right.
So long, suckers. We're off to the finals. Conference finals, that is. Then he passes it over to McDaniels, who for a second makes it look as if he's going to dribble the clock out. But no, he's going to try some kind of super self alley-oop dunk.
Dump.
Oh, I wish you would have jammed that just to piss everybody off even more.
Oh, Denver was not happy about all of that.
Well, good.
Yeah, too bad.
Good.
You know what? It's your thing. It's like you keep saying, be an ass about everything.
Yes.
So,
Let's be dicks is the motto. And McDaniels must have heard that along the way because he thought, no. I'm going to do one more thing just to send these folks away pissed off.
It was pretty cool hearing all the Wolves fans there. And I don't know if those were some Nuggets fans that just decided, you know what, I'm cheering for these guys or what? I mean, you saw a lot of Wolves jerseys for sure. A lot of Edwards jerseys.
There were a lot of Minnesota people there. There really was.
Hey, your guy showed up, too. The guy in the green Wolves
yes.
Get up. The guy
we had on the air.
We talked to last week.
Cottrell Macklin.
He was up in the stands. I saw a couple of cutaway shots of him during the game.
So
it's also been fun hearing from all the new Wolves fans in the listening audience. You know, ones that kind of jumped on the bandwagon. And some people have questions. So they said, so how does it work now? Do they move on to the Super Cup of Champions basketball battle for the trophy? Is that what it's called?
Super Cup of Champions is
basketball
next.
battery for the battle for the trophy.
Yes, this is where they go next. So, a couple things that really grabbed me. Of course, this was the 20th. Last night was the 20th anniversary of the last Game 7 the Wolves won in their limited playoff history when they beat Sacramento in Game 7, 2000+4. But do I have this correct? Yesterday was also Kevin Garnett's birthday?
Yeah. Yep. Turned 48 yesterday.
Number 48.
Balls Mahoney. That's just weird. And, you know, when I watched Indiana win Game 7 on the road in their series against New York, I said, man, I mean, if the Pacers can do it, then why the F can't the Timberwolves do it?
I had the other reaction. I was like, well, one road team won. There's no way it's going to happen in both games today.
Right. Well, the Pacers got some help, too. When Brunson broke his hand in the third quarter.
He broke his hand.
Yeah, and their other really good player, I can't pronounce his last name. It starts with an O. He was hurt, too, and he didn't. He played like 4 minutes of the game yesterday. But half of their team was hurt.
Yeah, who cares? It happens.
Yeah.
Indiana beat the New York Knicks. That's great. So they get to face Boston. But back to the Wolves. Now it's the Dallas Mavericks, and that's the Western Conference final, and it starts on Wednesday.
And the Wolves have home court advantage, so they will open this series at home starting Wednesday night. They beat Dallas 3 out of 4 times during the regular season, and the 3 times they beat them, they really weren't very close. Beat them by 18 twice, and then beat them by, 30-something the last time they played.
I'll say a couple of things on the upcoming series. One, and I'm going to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but that's okay. The 3 games that they won, Kyrie Irving didn't play in any of them.
Who cares?
So they've got that. But I will say this: if you were to ask me to predict this series, I think it's going to be a quick series. I don't see how Dallas can play the type of defense that Denver even tried to play on the Timberwolves. And if you watch Dallas at all, I watched a little bit of that Dallas-Oklahoma City series. They just don't seem interested on defense every time down the floor.
I thought that they had started to play a little defense.
No, they give up 120 a game, and if that happens in this series, I'm sorry, it's a 4 or 5 game series. The Wolves are not going to have as big of a problem with them as they did with Denver, in my opinion, anyway.
Boy, I'm going to get frustrated. I'll tell you that because that Doncic drives me crazy. I'm going to have trouble during this series. Well, I hope all of what you said is correct. I thought I watched a little bit of that series as well, and I thought it looked like minus Doncic. Doncic never plays any defense at all. I thought that they looked a little improved in that department, but I guess we'll find out Wednesday night.
I just don't think they match up very well with the Wolves inside. I mean, Gobert and Towns going up against P.J. Washington and Gafford is just a mismatch that the Timberwolves should be able to take advantage. Doncic and Edwards probably cancel each other out. And then, Kyrie Irving will have I think Edwards is going to start on Irving, and Doncic will see McDaniels. So those are 2 really good matchups to watch. But, I mean, if you look at the overall matchup between the 2 teams, it sure looks like the Wolves have an advantage. But crazier things have happened. We've seen all this kind of stuff before. You never know what's going to take place. So, fingers crossed, home court. I mean, the Wolves have a home court advantage in the Western Conference Finals. Who in the hell would have ever thought that was something that might happen? And if the Wolves win and Indiana wins that series with Boston, the Wolves will have home court in the NBA Finals. So there's so many crazy things that can still happen in the next 4 weeks of all of this. So hold on tight.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
Those are exciting scenarios. I think it's going to be a close series with the Dallas Mavericks. Here's an interesting text sent in by Eastbound at Sundown Jesus. He said all the Wolves games against Dallas were before the trade deadline. It's going to be a tough series. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, the last time they played them was the end of January. So Dallas is a different basketball team for sure than when the Wolves saw them.
I just think the team that they just beat is better than the team that they're about to play. And I think the Wolves are on, you can just see it. They just ooze confidence right now, that whole team.
My God, yeah.
And I don't know. I hope I'm right. I just don't see this series being a big issue. I think they're going to roll.
Is this a joke? Someone sent in a text that says his name is Luka Doncic. There's no D. Oh, I see. He never plays any defense. I got you. Yes, Randy Shaver.
I was just going to say, I mean, we say all those things, and it's true. The Wolves have incredible confidence, and they should. We lamented the fact that they would have to go through Denver in the second round in order to get here. You hope that, they take a breath, they realize what they've done, that they're not just satisfied with that. I don't think this team will do that. I think they're going to be laser focused for Dallas, and I don't disagree with Brad. I think the series could very well go quick because I've watched Dallas too, and you're right. They don't play great defense. They really don't. They're different than when they were before the trade deadline because Washington and Gafford have given them something they didn't have prior, and that is a presence inside. But it's still a mismatch in favor of the team. So,
another text message about the Timberwolves from Marauder Guy Jesus. And, he's a new fan. He says, I'm afraid of becoming a Wolves fan, WOLFS. Wouldn't that be something if that was across their jersey? Wolves. Marauder Guy Jesus, I'm afraid of becoming a Wolves fan every time I start caring about one of Minnesota's teams. They start to suck. Well, then stay away from this. Then don't watch.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
We would prefer it.
I think we've reached the level of success this year where I think it's okay to be, if they don't win, you know what I mean? You can't say that they suck because they made it to the Western Conference Finals.
Those days are over.
Yeah.
Yeah, those days, I mean, no matter what happens against the Dallas Mavericks, those days are over. This Wolves team is for real, and Tim Connolly has done you got to give the man a ton of credit. He's put together a team that can be better. I'm sure they'll look at everything and they'll make some changes maybe for next year. But the bottom line is this team is not going to go back and suck next year.
No.
It's not going to happen.
The NBA is a league where you're either, and we've seen the other side of this, and I'm going to laugh when I say it, you either really stink for a long time or you're really good for a long period of time. Because if you have guys like, I know we don't like talking about the Warriors, but look at, the Warriors run and the Spurs run and all these other teams. When you have a star at the age of 22, like they have right now, who's one of the best three players in the league, you're going to be good for a while. And they're going to be good for a long time.
There's an angry crowd outside the building. They're predicting a 4-game series. Who's this? East Winstead Jesus has texted in. Did you guys see the Wolves game last night? They won.
Yeah.
Oh.
No way.
That's good news.
You don't get television in Winstead, especially not the east side. So you didn't see the game. One more text. NBA Jesus text. One more text on basketball. NBA Jesus said Dallas had the best defense in the NBA the last 6 weeks of the regular season. Did you guys know that?
I didn't know that, but again, they are a different team. But I watched them against OKC like Brad did. I wasn't overly impressed by their defense.
Okay.
Yeah. Are they better defensively than they were in January?
Like
yeah, but I just don't think they're playing at the level the Wolves are right now.
There's nobody in the NBA playing the defense that the Wolves are right now. And you know what, Randy and Brad, your comment about how you more or less said it's a new day for the Timberwolves, you basically said they've reached a point now where, you can't say that they suck anymore. We can't have this The same line of thought that the Wolves are this losing garbage. They've reached a point now, and maybe they go even higher. And when you said that, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of, oh, God, here we go, 1987. 1987 when the Twins won the World Series.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget Steve.
3 years later, they were the worst team in baseball. One of the worst teams.
Baseball and football are sports where you can go from 13-4 to 4-13 in 1 year.
Right.
And the NBA, it's tougher to do that unless your star player gets hurt. I mean, if in this league, if he stays healthy, they're going to be at this level for 4, 5, 6 years.
You mean Anthony Edwards?
Yes.
Okay. Where I'm going with this, though, is when you made those comments about how the Wolves have reached a new light, a new image. It reminds me of 1987 when the Twins won the World Series. It specifically reminds me of Steve Lombardozzi being interviewed after they won Game 7. And Lombardozzi looked into the camera and said, "We are no longer the Twinkies. We are the Minnesota Twins." Do you remember that, Randy?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
We are not you cannot call us the Twinkies anymore.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about 87 and the Twins was that nucleus was all young guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was Herbeck and Puckett and Gaetti and Brunansky all in their, beginning the prime of their careers. So there was no way that people weren't optimistic about how that Twins team was going to be. They did not have the greatest 2 years in between, but obviously 91. I think they went from worst to first, right?
They did.
They went out and got Jack Morris in the offseason. That helped a lot.
Yeah,
well, speaking of the Twins, it was a miserable weekend in Cleveland. Yesterday, some dude called Will Brennan hit a walk-off 3-run homer in the ninth, and the Guardians beat the Twins 5-2. They got swept. Now they've lost 6 in a row.
Yeah.
They were outscored
kind of the same
19-8 in the series.
Kind of the same problems they had early in the year. They can't hit right now again. They're back to struggling. They're back to striking out too much. Paddock pitched great for them. It's just too bad. I mean, Chris Paddock was fabulous yesterday, but Duran is still working his way back to be healthy. And there are times when he looks great, and there are times when he struggles. And yesterday was one of those times. He's lost 2 games since he's come back, and He there are times where he just does not look like he's 100% for sure.
Now, we hope that they can get things headed in the right direction. They start a series tonight in Washington against the Nationals, and Pablo Lopez is on the bump. So maybe they can bust up this 6-game losing streak. We'll talk to Dick Bramer tomorrow. I believe there's a Game 7 in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Am I making that up?
Take your word for it.
Okay.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Yep.
Yeah.
State of hockey, my ass. Oilers Canucks Game 7 tonight.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Suter eliminated Zach.
Yeah, it sucked.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Ryan Suter eliminated Zach.
That's just more
Parise.
time for us, right?
More time for Zach to spend with
show.
us? I hope so.
Yes. Should get Zach on in the NHL season to talk about stuff.
We might have him take your gig.
You should. Gosh, are you kidding? You should.
Ryan Suter defeated Zach Parise in their series. So, of course, we heard that, he was going to hang him up. I'm sure we'll get a definitive word one of these days. So
I wonder if this is going to kind of give a negative image to Suter, as far as Wild fans go. Do you think people will start disliking the guy?
Here in town?
He is so beloved.
Never.
Our fans would never stoop to that level.
You don't
Josh.
think so?
He gave too much blood, sweat, and tears when he was with the Pigs.
Speaking of fickle fans, I forgot. Yesterday, I'm wearing my twin sweatshirt. Went to a store, and I got shamed by the greeter at the store.
No way. They're supposed to be nice.
He told me, he's like, it takes a lot of courage to wear something like that today.
Oh, man.
He's like, the Twins have been sucking. I thought, they did pretty well for a little bit there. There's no slump.
What is it? Why is it this guy's business what the hell you're wearing into the store?
I know. It was part one of 2 times I was shamed at the store yesterday. But, yeah, the Twins jersey, that set the guy off.
What was the other one?
That guy.
I was trying to carry something too heavy, and I was trying to hide my face at how heavy it was. And a lady looked at me and laughed because she could tell I was struggling. She laughed right at me.
Bogus, dude.
So in the Eastern Conference side of the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's going to be Florida and the New York Rangers. Go Florida. And tonight's Oilers-Canucks game will decide who faces Ryan Suter in the Western Conference Final. I'm sorry that guy had to come off and invade your business, Josh.
Oh, he must have been just a big fan that was having a bad day. He was not happy with what was going on.
That reminds me of when a guy went after Big Al's mustache. You know the story about when the guy, total stranger, went after Big Al's mustache?
I remember.
Many, many years ago. We were still young bucks, so we were, running around downtown Minneapolis drinking beer. And Big Al grew a fat-ass beard. Big, fat deer hunting beard. And then when he got back from his hunting trip, he trimmed it down to a gorgeous mustache. He looked like Lanny McDonald from 1985. It was just gorgeous. And we're standing around at a bar, minding our damn business, drinking some Steve Weiser. So some guy walks by Big Al. Big Al never seen him in his entire life. And the guy gets in Al's face and goes, nice mustache. And then walks away. And our buddy Paul, the biggest of all of us, Paul says to Al, Al, you know that guy? Al says, never seen him before in my life. So Paul walks over and kind of shoves the guy and goes, you got a problem with my friend's mustache? And I thought to myself, this is awesome. Paul's going to kick someone's ass over Al's mustache. It didn't come to blows, but the guy said, no, I don't have a problem. And Paul's like, well, why are you commenting on my friend's mustache? It was just the dumbest thing in the world. Who walks up to a complete stranger and has a sarcastic comment about their facial hair?
Sometimes it is strange what sets folks off.
Yeah, nice mustache.
Yeah.
F you. What business is it of yours? Big Al can grow whatever he wants on his face. The ladies' hockey club is playing in their final. The ladies' hockey club made it to the final, right? They beat Toronto over the weekend. Now they're playing Boston in the ladies' tournament, the championship round. They lost last night, but it's a best of 5. Best of 5. They'll have another game tomorrow night. All right. Whoever this Scotty Scheffler guy is.
I love him.
He isn't the first pro golfer to be arrested during a tournament. So we talked about this last week. Week is how you say it. He got arrested on his way to some silly golf tournament, something about driving around a cone and the cop on the hood and this and that. We don't need to get into the details anymore. The charges are expected to be dropped. Whatever. Scotty Scheffler.
Some of the fans had his mugshot on T-shirts. That was awful quick. I think that was pretty
hours after it happened.
So awesome.
That's
and he
impressive.
high-fived him, too. That makes it better.
You guys know he's not the first, right? Okay, so let's cover some other golfers who have been arrested during a tournament. Tiger Woods, y'all. Arrested in 2017 on suspicion of driving under the influence when he was found asleep in the driver's seat of his car when he was recovering from back surgery. Okay? Tiger Woods, that's one. I remember that. He was just completely asleep behind the wheel of his car.
Was that during a tournament?
That's what it says here.
Or was that? Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah. John Daly was taken into custody in North Carolina in October 2008 after he was found drunk outside a Hooters restaurant. And they held on to him until he could get sober. And it's incredible how long that will take for some people. I had to go pick somebody up from jail, but I had to wait until they blew under .10. You following this? They got arrested They got arrested, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was my job to go pick them up from jail, but I had to wait until, and I swear to God, it was 2 o'clock the next damn day. But that's how long it took this guy to dry up to where I could bring him out of jail. An Australian golfer named Robert Allenby was arrested outside of a casino. This was the 2016 John Deere Classic. I guess he was being disorderly. Okay. Another Australian, Stephen Bowditch, extreme DUI. Following the first round of the Waste Management Open in Phoenix.
That's the one where people go crazy.
Yeah, that's part of the tournament.
They had some trouble this year.
Everybody blows a .23 at the Waste Management Open.
You have to blow that just to get in. They don't let you through the gates.
So this guy, Stephen Bowditch, extreme DUI. He blew a .20. He was swerving all over the road, they say. Oh, he sat through 2 green lights without moving.
That's usually a giveaway.
Yes.
He was released in time to play in the tournament, but he didn't do very well. Here's another golfer who was arrested during a tournament, Matt Every. Oh, this is a good 14 years ago. Again, with the John Deere Classic. He was arrested for marijuana possession, Randy Shaver, in a town called Bettendorf, Iowa.
Oh, yeah. I played football against Bettendorf.
Okay.
Over there, almost on the river.
Yep.
Is that where the John Deere Classic is? Iowa?
It's in Iowa. Yes,
Oh, okay.
It is.
I thought it was Quad Cities, but yeah, somewhere in Iowa.
Well, yeah, it's in that area.
So listen to how this guy got busted, this Matt Every. He's in his hotel room, night before the John Deere Classic, and police smelled the odor of marijuana coming from under the door.
Oh, got to put a towel down, man.
Yep.
That doesn't really work.
Rookie move.
Is that really what you do?
That's what kids did in college. I don't know how effective it really was.
And then this final. Golfers who have been arrested. It's not just Sheffy Slappy, whatever the hell his name is.
Slappy Scheffler.
Jack Machine Gun McGurn. This was 1933. He was one of, according to the story, Al Capone's henchmen. But he was also a pretty good golfer. So he entered something called the Western Open under an assumed name and shot 83 in the first round. Is that good?
No.
Maybe back then it was okay, but not today.
Okay. Police got wise, like they did back in 1933. And we're wise to you, eh? Police got wise to this McGurn playing under an assumed name, and they planned to arrest him on the course. He was 1 under when officers approached him on the 7th green to make the arrest, but McGurn asked if they would let him finish his round, and they agreed, most likely out of fear.
Yeah, I would think so.
And it says here that must have rattled McGurn a little bit because he finished that round with an 86, and then he was taken to jail. But they let him finish his round of golf.
We're watching you, though.
So don't you guys just pick on this Sylvester
Scotty
McSherfin. Don't just pick on him. Others have been arrested. So does this Paige Spiranak, does she have nipples or does she not have nipples?
I'm going to guess she does, but yeah, that's the conspiracy.
What? Really?
Maybe we find out.
Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, I've heard you guys go back and forth about this Paige Spiranak. The two of you like to see her topless on the internet.
I don't know that she's been topless on the internet.
Oh, she hasn't been? Oh,
Brad, you know.
Of course she hasn't. That's
I
the
follow
only
her
reason.
on Twitter, but yeah.
No, of course she hasn't, because that's the only way this story happens is that she hasn't. But she likes to put on bikinis and whatnot, right? That's her thing?
Yeah. She's as close to being naked as she can be without actually being naked.
She's also in the swimsuit issue for Sports Illustrated, too.
So as conspiracy theories go, this is a keeper. There are a number of people out there who believe that golfer / swimsuit model / influencer Paige Spiranak, there are a number of people who believe that she doesn't have nipples. And their basis for that theory is that nothing ever pokes through her shirts.
Well, she's mostly wearing like sports tanks or like golf tanks, and those usually have padded. They're usually padded.
Ashley, you're making a fool of yourself to try to defend. It's obvious that she does not have nipples. Okay. Paige recently came out to confirm that she does indeed have nipples.
Yeah.
Prove it.
No nipples on the golf course.
But some people are demanding concrete proof.
Well, of course they are.
Cam Soda, a porno site, they're offering her $250,000 to bust them out on their website and prove once and for all that she does have nipples.
It's a lot of money. I don't think she needs it, but dang, $250,000.
I don't.
Yeah, that's not much for her. I don't think. Her net worth is $3 million.
$250,000, they said.
Kind of funny. The only girl on the show thinks that she has any credibility when talking about women's clothing. She's shameful. Weird.
I mean, actually, it is interesting now that someone pointed it out. I guess I never really picked up on the fact that she's never nipping.
Well, I mean, Photoshop?
Yeah, it could be too.
Something like that.
Is that how you correct that, Josh?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe they just, it's her thing.
What do you guys think, being big fans, Brad and Randy? Do you think she has nipples?
I wouldn't know. Don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
I would venture to say she does. But
Randy, you want no part of this?
I just, it does, it's, whatever it is, it is. This is not the hill I'm going to die on this morning.
Just wait until you hear about the website we talked about earlier in the show.
Here's further proof that Randy and I have no idea what's going to come out of the mouths of the other people on the show before we get on.
Well, a few people are texting in photos showing that it appears she does have nipples. So I don't know how legit these photos are, but...
I've never heard Randy so tongue-tied before. Did you recently get in trouble for looking at Paige Spiranak on the internet? Or
No. No, it's...
I'm looking at a picture of her right now that was sent to me by a listener, and yeah.
Yeah, you can see them.
She has them. Mm-hmm. She has. Some are wondering, well, maybe they're just inverted.
Could be.
Why do guys have nipples?
So you can milk them?
Like the reason? I guess I don't know.
It's a reference to my old vandalism story from when we were kids.
Didn't know to spell Y.
Yeah. A friend of mine decided to vandalize a wall in our neighborhood, and he said, I'm going to write something really funny. I'm going to write something really silly. And we said, okay, go ahead. And then he came back and said what he wrote was, why do guys have nipples? Which he thought was funny. It's not. But the only funny part of the story is that he misspelled, this is an 18-year-old, he misspelled the word why. Graduated from high school and everything. Misspelled the word why. Spelled it W-Y-E.
Sometimes brains just fail out of nowhere,
Well, yeah.
It was funny one time when you were responding to someone telling them you were a genius and then had to ask me, wait, how do you spell genius?
Exactly.
That was pretty good.
This was also a guy a year prior, so he was 17. A year prior, he did not know his mother's maiden name. I went to a wedding with his family, and I don't know, just out of stupid curiosity, I said, so, his aunt was getting married or something. And I said, so what's your mother and her sister? What's their maiden name? And he said, I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
Like he forgot or just never knew?
I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But he did not know the answer.
Crazy.
I remember first learning my mom had a name, and I was shocked. I just thought it was Mom. Mm-hmm. Never once piecing it together. Well, everyone's mom is named Mom.
And your dad always referred to her as a hot ass. Here's something for you video game dorks. EA Sports College Football 25 comes out in July, on July 19th. Is that something that throws anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A lot of people are very excited for this.
There's been people that they're going online and saying that they're going to take the day off to play with their buddies. And they're like 42 years old.
You got to remember,
Awesome.
people have waited a long time for this game because this was the start of the NIL issues, and this is why the game went away, is that the players were upset and sued because of that. Their likenesses were on the video game. And so the game disappeared for, 10, 12, 13 years, something like that. And so now it's back, and people are ecstatic about it. I'm one of those people. I think it's going to be awesome to play that game after such a long period of time. So,
well, get pumped then. Go ahead.
Well, your last broadcast is the end of June, so you can play the entire month of July.
I'll have plenty of time.
Oh, yeah. Get that dynasty mode going.
I can't wait to see the weight gain once Randy's retired.
The what gain?
The weight gain.
I want to see the hair and beard.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Beard, long hair, put on a bunch of happy weight.
Do you think you'll grow a beard, Randy?
I don't know what I'm going to do, Josh.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to see what you look like with a beard.
Have a beard off with your oldest son.
Or maybe a nice neck tattoo.
Beard.
Grow a David Letterman beard. The minute he went off the air, he grew a beard.
Oh, you're going to have a gut on you. It's going to be unbelievable. Speaking of weight.
Oh, my God. I will not have a gut on me.
There's a Clemson lineman who is mad at EA Sports for making him fat in this new college football video game.
That's good.
I love that.
How would he even know that? I mean,
I don't know. Maybe
come out yet.
the players get a preview or something. I have no idea.
I wonder if he saw himself in a trailer or
in
something
a trailer.
like that.
Sure.
Oh, maybe that. Yeah, maybe that.
He's upset that they made him
There's
look.
a trailer that's out.
Okay. He's upset they made him look fat. And on the topic of football and video games, I know this was a few days ago, but okay, every team releases some kind of hype video. NFL. Every team releases some kind of silly hype video when the schedule is released. This is a thing that everyone's got to do it. Their Twitter people have to release some stupid hype video.
Yep.
Who cares? But I watched the Los Angeles Chargers little schedule release hype video, and they played it all out as the video game The Sims. How do I say this, Josh?
Yeah, it was like a Sims game.
It was, and that stuff always makes me laugh so effing hard.
They were very clever.
I mean, they made fun of everybody. They particularly made fun of Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker.
So good.
By putting him in a kitchen.
That's where he belongs.
Because this Harrison Butker, I guess, is some closed-minded barf bag who, I don't know, he said something recently at a college graduation commencement about women, and everyone's all upset. Good. That was very funny. That Sim stuff just always, they snuck in a shot at Karen Rodgers and made him, I don't know the background behind this, they made Karen's Sims character cower in fear of cell phone towers while holding a radioactive baby. Does anyone know what that refers to?
Like some conspiracy theories about what they do to folks.
Who does to folks?
Wasn't there a whole thing about 5G cell phone towers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't follow those things. But anyway, the Sims video game is really funny and fun to watch. And so if you want to take interest in it, look at the Chargers little video. That was hilarious. And it reminds me of the wild conversations we've had on this program about that video game, The Sims. How violent and horrible you can be in that game.
That's how we found out you're psychotic, Wapple.
Yeah.
The things you did in that
Everyone
game.
else is too.
Yeah,
Not
everybody
just
does
me.
that, Wapple. I started playing it like last week, and I was thinking about building a sweatshop.
It's crazy you can even do that in the game.
So there's these mods that you can get, and now you can actually watch your Sims characters have sex with each other. You can make them smoke weed. You can have goblins in the game. It's gone crazy.
Goblins?
Yeah, like a little tiny goblin.
You had me at weed and sex, but goblins.
Yeah,
go
that's
too
where I
far.
thought, how do you put goblins in the same conversation as sex and marijuana cigarettes? But you found a way to do it.
Yeah.
Wapple, you said at one point you would put a family in a swimming pool and remove the ladder.
Yeah.
And then what did you put the cover on too, so they drown?
No, so you can't put a cover on, but if you delete the ladders in the swimming pool, then the person just tries to swim around forever and ever and ever, and then they die.
They did that in the beginning of the video that the Chargers released. They had them all in the pool and removed the ladder. That's why they were freaking out with their hands up in the air.
They had they had Sims characters for each team they're going to play in this next upcoming pre-scripted NFL season. They put a character for each team that they're going to play this season in the pool. She's right. And then remove the ladder and they all drown.
Another good one was, in The Sims, you try to make this person and get them better at doing stuff like cooking, for example. So you can have your person be really terrible at cooking, and they'll start stuff on fire. So that's how you kill them in the kitchen.
Yeah, didn't you you took all the windows out the house and then start a fire? I mean...
Yeah, fire alarms. Got to get rid of those.
That stuff it's so dark, but yet so funny to me. It makes me want to buy the game. One final note. I know Randy and Brad don't have any idea what we're talking about. Sports Illustrated's Gilbert Manzano. Do you read his works on Sports Illustrated, anybody?
Not
I mean,
familiar.
I never really look at the author, I guess.
Gilbert Manzano. He's predicted the Vikings to go 3-14 this upcoming football season.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I love that.
I saw where the great Jim Otto passed away.
Ah, Christ, I forgot.
The great Jim Otto, who was the Oakland Raiders' Mr. Raider. 86 years old, Hall of Fame player. He's one of 3 guys that played in every game of the American Football League 9 years of existence. George Blanda and Gino Cappelletti were the other 2 guys. But I wanted to read a quote by him. He said the person who ever hit him the hardest was Ray Nitschke, the inside linebacker for the Packers in 1972. And here's his quote. Jim Otto played center, by the way. He broke my face mask, which broke my nose, and set it over here. Broke my cheekbone, broke my arch bone, detached my retina. I was blind for 6 months in my left eye. It was really bad. It all swelled up, and I couldn't see, but I kept playing. I never went out of the game.
Exactly.
That is Jim Otto.
I would have taken the series off, maybe.
He had 74 surgeries. He had 20 concussions. He lost his right leg to amputation after infections. That was Jim Otto. That's why Raider fans and Raider historians look at him as the greatest player in the history of that franchise. For all the things that he endured and just what he represented. You talk about, just win, baby. That was Jim Otto in so many ways. So
nicely done, Randy Shaver. Old. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
20 concussions before they actually diagnosed concussions in the way they do today.
That's
so
correct.
It was probably a lot more than that.
Dude broke his face mask, broke his face. He couldn't. Nowadays, you get a 15-yard penalty if you hit a receiver when he's not looking. I miss the old days. I do. That's beautiful stuff, Randy. All right, we got to get going again. Thanks, Randy. Thanks, Brad.
Yep.
You bet.
Go ahead and text us and tell us what's wrong with you. Our next guest can help. 651-989-9393. Dr. P. Jesus is in studio coming up next.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
We're having a real conversation as real estate investors.
New episodes available every day.
It's important to buy where it makes money and not necessarily where you want to travel to.
Bigger Pockets, On the Market, Rookie Real Estate, or Money Podcast.
The purpose of flipping is to create more cash so then you can reinvest into other types of properties.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast, on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Dr. P. Jesus, welcome to the Half-Assed Morning Show.
93X.
Oh, my God. Checking in at 8:27 here on the program ski. And our guest at this time is a real damn doctor. His mama named him James. We call him Dr. P. Jesus. Text us, 651-989-9393. If you have a question regarding your overall well-being, welcome back to the show, Dr. P.
Great to be here. I got my Wolves jersey on.
WOLF apostrophe S.
Is there apostrophe or that would be the Wolves own it? Right? Oh, I don't know. Darn.
Well, look at your shirt.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. There
Go Wolves, it says.
I like that it shows off your curves. That's sexy.
My man boobs.
You don't have man boobs. Stop that.
What's been going on, dude?
Not too much. That is very exciting. Actually, can I ask a sports-related question?
Sports-related question, yes.
Well, okay. Are NBA games, are the scores so high in general simply because they don't play defense? Because it seems like these Wolves games where they play defense, it's like,
it's a thing. It's a monumental moment.
More understandable score.
The three-point basket, okay. Dr. P, okay. And the ability of players to be consistent with the three-point basket is what usually jacks up the score. I'm out. Go ahead, somebody else.
Explain what happens there. What happens to someone? It's just phlegm that shows up, or
Nick was probably so shocked that I said something about sports that his body is just rejected.
Cubby, that was just overall throat dryness.
Oh,
dryness.
You got all those Gatorades in front of you.
That's where I'm going right now.
Yeah, you got to hit that up.
Yeah, get one of those in there.
Skin tags, Dr. P.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine, you may know him, mentioned that he has had a skin tag in an intimate area. And can those last a whole life? It's as long as he's remembered.
Do they live forever?
If it's a skin tag, that would be always the concern is, could it be, he could have a condylomatous wart from, his HPV.
Ew.
Oh, I don't know if Nick has. If this guy has HPV.
It's not in a spot where I believe you could catch an STD.
Oh, it actually is, Nick?
Yeah.
Nobody said that for sure.
Oh, okay. So skin tag is, basically skin tags occur in areas where there is rubbing of skin on skin or clothing on skin. So most commonly you see them on the neck line for, where shirts are. A lot of women get them along a bra line. And then down in the groin where the thighs rub together. And it's, what they actually are it's almost like a little bit of scar tissue, and I think if they look at it under a microscope, it doesn't really look odd. But yeah, once they form, unless something basically traumatic happens to it, it'll just live there forever, and it could get a bit bigger, but they usually are kind of size limited. But
if we were talking about my genital area skin tag, then everything that you said makes perfect sense as far as skin on skin not the word isn't competition, contact skin on
competition.
And if that little feller has been there my whole life, by God, he's seen some things.
The stories
that my skin tag could tell, Josh.
Yeah,
is it true that the larger the genitals, the more likely this is to happen?
Oh, I would think so.
Yeah, it's got to be that.
No,
right?
but down in the groin area between the legs, those skin tags do tend to get larger than they do up on the neck and stuff.
It's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable size.
But they can be. It's quite a simple procedure to have them, cut off if it's really bothering you. But.
No, and like I said, again, if we were talking about my skin tag, no one's going to see it unless they want to be wildly aggressive with me. You know what I'm talking about?
Some weird stuff?
Yeah, it would have to be weird stuff.
Yeah,
it
things have to be lifted out of the way.
Yes, that's exactly right. Things would have to be hoisted up out of the way.
Yep. Well, you're okay. Or that person's okay.
Have you ever heard of a vein in a lip? Do our lips have veins?
Maybe
that was
every
a dumb
part of our
question.
body has veins.
Really?
So,
okay.
A vein in a lip?
It must be in a prominent vein or something.
Yeah, I think so. They said it gets very hard, fills up, gets very hard, and it hurts. And they have to kind of massage the blood out to relieve it. Whoa. Is this bad, they ask. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but they have a Wisconsin area code.
There you go.
If that changes your diagnosis.
That's really good, actually. Yeah, it's totally different for Wisconsin people. Wow. So, yes, just to briefly step back, every part of our body has arteries bringing blood to that area and veins taking blood away. As it gets closer to the surface, they get much smaller and smaller. And in fact, arteries eventually connect to veins because, that's how it has to work. So, but in the lip, to have something like that, it almost sounds like they must have had an injury to a vein, which can make the vein larger than normal. I can't, that's just an odd place for that to happen, but what they're describing sounds like they're getting phlebitis of that vein, which is irritation, and sometimes that can even be a little superficial, like clotting. It probably is a good thing to have looked at, though, because, again, that's not a typical spot, and if there's something funny going on around the mouth, you want to make sure there's no oral cancer. That's what I would. It's not something to fool around with, obviously.
Well, that's something you definitely want to get checked out yourself.
Yeah, and really, you could honestly, if you're going to your dentist, they're typically very well versed in looking, and noting whether things are funny. But you could go in and see your primary care doc, and if there's concerns, then there may be some imaging or biopsy. But.
I always know when Josh is pissed off because the veins in his lips.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. P. Jesus is here. People are texting in interesting questions, always. Do you? I like the way this one is put. Do you have any remedies for I'm doing my best here, hiatal hernia? Because I'm tired of the foamy vomit.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
What are we talking about there, Dr. Damn P?
So a hiatal hernia is, basically a hernia is when any sort of abdominal organs are pushing through where they're not supposed to be. So the most common spot is sort of an inguinal hernia down in the groin. You can have a hernia around the belly button, poking out.
Yeah, we get a lot of hernia questions around here.
My wife has one of those by the belly button.
Does she?
This is the first time I remember vomit being brought up.
Yeah. So hiatal hernia is different because it's actually the stomach pushing up through the diaphragm. So it's internal, but normally you have you have your mouth connected to the esophagus, goes down. Right when it passes through the diaphragm, it connects to the stomach. The stomach's supposed to stay under there, but if the stomach kind of starts pushing up through the diaphragm, you basically get some crimping or squeezing of the stomach, and people will get lots of acid reflux stuff. So it just causes GERD, gastroesophageal reflux symptoms.
And you kind of cough up some.
Well, foamy vomit. That could be really severe hiatal hernia symptoms or gastritis or something, but
a lot of keg beer in his diet or something.
Maybe, right, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you shouldn't be vomiting from a hiatal hernia with any regularity. So again, as we always like to point out on this program, it's for entertainment and general medical advice purposes. This person should go be seen because it sounds more like they may have a hiatal hernia, but they've got maybe some blockage going on from it.
Why would it be foamy though?
Foamy is air bubbles, right? So
do you jump up and down a lot or something?
They're on an all soap diet.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm not sure I can come up with an explanation for that. But,
all right, go get seen again.
Yeah, there would be concerns that there's if you have enough acid exposure to the esophagus, you can get strictures in the esophagus where it's basically like a ring of scar tissue that's preventing things from going down. You don't want stomach acid flying up into your esophagus all the time because the esophagus is not equipped to handle that acid. It's hydrochloric acid, which is highly corrosive, and our stomach has a lining for that. The esophagus doesn't. So one of the things
that's going to be painful.
Yeah, one of the things that can happen is the esophagus sort of tries to react, saying, "Whoa, this isn't good. I'm going to try to become stomach." Basically, that's kind of what happened. And you can get a thing called Barrett's esophagus, where you're getting changes in the esophageal lining cells they start to look like stomach cells. But anytime our body does that, that means there's some checks and balances out of match, and it can lead to cancerous changes. So, you just don't want that exposed. Good. Yeah, so they need somebody to take a look.
Oh, Jesus texted in and wants to know, he's got a 5-year-old who uses an inhaler for asthma. Mm-hmm. Wants to know, can that affect your height as he gets older?
Really?
That's news to me. Is that?
Yeah.
And what would affect the height?
Because depending on what the inhaler is. So asthma, you typically there's 2 different kinds of medications. A rescue medication, which is something typically albuterol. People have heard of that. And that basically, if you have some spasm of the muscles in your airways, you take that and it relaxes the spasm. Okay. So that's a pretty benign medication, but it also doesn't control asthma. It just treats acute sort of asthma symptoms. The thing that people are on a daily basis is usually an inhaled steroid. So an inhaled anti-inflammatory medication, and theoretically that could affect growth. Yeah, it's
really?
I'm not sure. The thing is, you have to treat asthma because people can die of asthma. So there's only so many options. I feel like it's
how much are we talking here?
Significant.
Change in height?
You could have been 6'4", but you end up 5'7".
That would suck.
I don't think so. I think it's probably more of a theoretical thing, and this is probably one of these things. I can look this up over the break to see if there's any data on it. Again, it's kids that have asthma, you have to use that sort of medication to keep them healthy and alive. So and it's it's being inhaled, so it's not like you're taking it by mouth. But when you inhale things, it gets into your circulation. So it's a theoretical possibility, but I don't think it's not gonna change someone from a basketball star to not a basketball star.
You went from a basketball star to being a jockey.
Yeah, right.
Because of your asthma.
It's a good question, though, and I will look it up. But yeah, it's because of the inhaled steroid component that there could be a concern.
Going back to the vein in the lip.
Oh.
Dental Babe Sheeza said they see him quite a bit in the dental chair. Unless it's painful, they don't do anything with them. Well, that person said that it was painful.
And yeah, they thought it was getting clots in it, right? Yeah. So right, if it's painful and something's not right.
Friggin' lip vein. I've never heard of that, Josh.
And a lot, that was news to me too. A lot of people
vein lip.
A lot of people are making lip and main vein jokes, as you can imagine. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, let's read all those out loud.
Dr. P. Jesus, a text message. This is concerning to an amateur, but maybe to a professional like you. You know exactly what the hell they're talking about. It certainly sounds out of the ordinary. Why is it that when I stretch standing up with my hands above my head, I'll sometimes, before we go any further, I still find it absolutely fascinating that Josh has never full body stretched in his entire life.
Well, I have. I just don't make the noises.
You have to make
I'll
the noises.
Stretch back. You
it
just
doesn't
make a lot
count.
of noises. I don't.
I thought it was that you just never felt the need to.
Oh no! Yeah, I don't go. You're super loud.
Oh yes,
Yeah, that's what you've commented on before. Is I just don't make noises.
Oh,
when
I thought
do
you
it.
told me that you just don't ever stretch.
No, just that I don't make the noise.
I'm loud when I stretch. Yeah, I don't know how you can't be.
I agree. I feel like I
When
do,
you do
I
a-
the same thing every morning when I get out of
Oh,
bed. And it's
I do it 4 or 5 times a day. Just God,
Yeah, he yells. But he's also a loud orgasm.
I am very loud.
I was gonna say that could correlate.
Oh, it does correlate. I am the loudest orgasmer in the county. Anyway.
Oh, that recording.
Why is it when I stretch standing up with my hands above my head, I'll sometimes completely lose my vision in one eye momentarily?
Whoa.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
No, I will put that.
Are you
in.
closing one eye? Is that where you're confused? That you
I mean,
like that line from The Naked Gun? Use your open eye, Frank. Oh, okay, sure. You know.
Yeah. This might be one other thing to look up. So, I mean, I'm just trying to think. So stretching, hands up, and probably extending their neck.
Yeah.
I mean, someone could theoretically be pinching their own vertebral artery in their neck and like
vertebral.
Yeah. We have carotid arteries are the big ones in the front that
Sure.
horror movies are. That's the one that gushes and sprays.
That's when Josh, puts folks to sleep. That's the one he squeezes.
Rear naked choke.
Right.
I'm sorry. What?
Rear naked choke.
Emphasis on the naked.
Exactly.
No, the rear.
It sounded like you said to Dr. P, "You are a naked joke." Yes, the carotid are the big fat ones.
Yeah, those are in the front, and they're hard to pinch because they're big. The vertebral arteries are in the back of the neck.
Oh.
They go up to the back part of the brain, and your occipital lobe is there, which controls vision. I mean, and that's the one that occasionally, I'm an advocate for chiropractic care. I think responsible chiropractic care is great, but occasionally you hear about somebody having their neck adjusted and the vertebral artery gets torn.
That terrifies me. I used to crack my neck a lot, but I try and slow down on that for that reason.
Yeah, this all makes sense to me now. Josh, I used to be a big neck cracker. I don't do it anymore because I heard terrible stories of but it all makes sense to me now because when I used to be a big neck cracker, you swing it to the left and right. I remember back when I was a neck cracker that I would see stars.
I've had that happen. The last time that happened is when I stopped because I'd heard about the stroke thing.
Yeah.
A guy that we used to work with had a buddy who had a stroke from it.
Oh, that is so scary. I've never seen stars when cracking my neck. You guys must be going pretty hard.
Oh, yeah, I went for it.
So this all makes sense now.
So I think, there would be a little bit of concern there that they are, because otherwise I can't think of any mechanism that would make sense. So maybe stop doing that. And, but if you're just stretching and it's happening, I mean it's a good thing to go in and talk to somebody about.
Yeah, you could have some funny kind of a thing happening there.
is you would think there's something slightly anatomically unusual if they're able to pinch that.
There you go.
Just with a neck stretch. So
Equestrian Jesus reminds us of something we wanted to ask you. Testicles. When they descend when you're, or wait, what's the other one? They crawl up when you're cold, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
They shrink. Do they also when you're sick? Because both Nick and Wapple think that when they're sick, they kind of crawl up there. Is that a common thing? I've never noticed.
See, for me personally, Dr. P, it was stomach. When I have stomach problems, like, oh, God, I ate too much and I'm so full, and you get like stomach issues, I notice that my bag travels north.
And by the way, I appreciate Equestrian Jesus looking out for our nuts.
That is very nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
We were talking about our balls earlier. Wapple says his go upwards when he's any kind of sick.
Yep. Yeah,
Gosh,
throwing
that's
up or anything like
Do
that.
you guys monitor the status of your...
Measure them every day.
It's something that I noticed recently. Yeah. No, there's no monitoring, but it's something that I noticed.
Yeah.
Smart ass.
Well, I am that sometimes. I mean, okay, so basically, I would say the testicles retracting into the body is a protective mechanism. Which is related to it's kind of like the fight or flight response, I think. And when you get cold, it's basically your body is sort of keeping your circulation to your internal organs as much as possible. You're ready to run or fight, and I mean, part of that, in the evolution of males is to probably pull those suckers in, and you're not going to lose them in a fight. So, So being sick is similar in terms of fight flight response, I guess.
Right. Your survival mode.
Yeah.
My body and Wapple's body is triggering some kind of survival mode when we're not feeling well to protect our nuts.
That leads me to a question I have
So we can use them on some women at Turtle Lake Casino.
Oh, that's coming up, isn't it?
Yes, Ashley, go ahead.
I have a question about balls. So that thing, how they go up. I knew a guy where that would happen to him when he orgasmed. Is that normal, or should that be alarming?
No, I think that's normal.
That's normal for every guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Because, whoa.
Yeah.
Maybe I just never paid attention.
Because they're pumping. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, there is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the cremaster muscle. CREMASTER.
Is that really what it's called?
It really is.
That's
yes.
hilarious. You're the cream master.
I know. Thank you. But yeah, actually, this is an interesting little fact. If somebody has lower extremity numbness and tingling, and you're concerned about maybe back injury, paralysis kind of stuff, one of the tests you can do is testing the cremasteric reflex, which is you gently touch the side of the scrotum, and it should cause the testicles to retract.
Right.
And if that doesn't happen, you're worried that they may have a spinal cord injury.
Wait, if you touch them, they go up?
Yeah. I have the nurse do it. But.
Oh,
Yes, no, yeah, touching, yeah, basically, I'm not going to say tickling, but I am going to say tickling the side of the scrotum.
You really thought, Ashley, you met the only man on earth with moving nads?
Yeah, I didn't know that it was you could just push them back down. It blew my mind.
You didn't know, and now you do.
I learned so many things.
Dr. P. Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, we're back. Back with Dr. James Parnell. Dr. P. Jesus. He's helping folks out with their health issues. Back to vaginas real quick. Before we went to commercial, I was messing around with Dr. P, and I said, would you like to look at some funny-looking vaginas? Where I was going with that is Ashley over there and her dedication to show prep. And we always tell everyone in the other room, we say, as far as show prep goes, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Mm-hmm. Send us whatever, bring into the building, whatever. You never know what it might turn into, show material. Ashley presented us today with a website called the Labia Library. And what the website involves is pictures, medical looking. How did you say it earlier? Someone said something.
Clinical.
Thank you. Clinical looking photos of vaginas. And you can look at them on Labia Library, and they're just supposedly they're odd. So just in case you would take an interest as a doctor.
As a doctor, you recognize those as vaginas, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
it's a whole library of them.
Yeah. I mean,
The UE decimal system is what you
I mean, that's probably.
There's all types out there.
It's a public service because there are.
Cervix?
Public service.
Sorry.
Service, he said.
Because I know that a lot of women feel bad about the appearance of their vagina/vulva.
They think they're funny looking when they're really not that funny looking.
There is massive variation, and it's all okay. But yeah, I mean, I think it's you would assume it's pornography probably would be the main thing, but also just maybe nudity in movies where they're sort of the ideal body type, ideal breast size and shape.
A lot of us,
and the same with genitals. So
it's very common to be self-conscious of your body. So Ashley, the backstory again on this is some gal that you know walked up to you and said, "Hey, you should look at this website. It has funny-looking vaginas."
Yup, exactly like that.
All right.
I thought, okay, let me see.
So hopefully, I mean, if women look at it, ideally it should hopefully help women feel comfortable with their bodies.
Yeah, it actually did the opposite for Ashley.
Yeah.
Really?
It made me think, because, I mean, honestly, like, I didn't know there was all that variety. And so I thought, well, is mine normal?
You didn't recognize anything on there?
No.
Well, then you're not
But maybe,
normal,
I don't know, maybe I've never seen it at, like, those type of angles, I guess. I've never really...
You don't have any clinical pictures?
No, I've never gotten pictures taken like that. So.
You shouldn't feel so funny about it, whoever, because I looked at all of them, research purposes, and there was only 2 or 3 where I said, what the hell is that? Other than that, I've seen things like that before.
I'm not picky.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge?
Yeah, Labia Library.
It's not like you're staring at it anyway.
That's the joint. Josh, do you have one more keeper for Dr. P before we get out of here?
Well, I don't know if we've covered the old beehole yet this morning.
I don't think so.
We gotta cover it.
Somebody here says I have an extremely tight anus and get fissures time to time from, quote, big poopies.
Whoa.
The question is, can I train it with, let's say, a butt plug so it expands?
Lord, have mercy. This is a keeper.
Whoa.
Train it like a dog.
There probably are things that can be done. Anal fissures happen when people have increased tone of the sphincter muscles, and basically you get tearing of the lining, which is,
So you mean
from big poopies
when they're evacuating waste?
Yeah.
You're so damn firm down there that it hurts you?
Yeah.
Oh my damn.
Yeah, like the muscles don't relax.
Good Lord, that sounds brutal.
It can, it's something that there's an internal anal sphincter that we don't have control over consciously, an external one that we do have some control over. That you can hold things in.
I'm a little afraid of the one that we don't have control over.
Right. Conscious control.
Conscious control.
But it's something that probably develops over a lot of years, probably from some chronic constipation, where there's pain with having movements, and that causes basically fear, which means you increase your tone, and it can really be something that develops over years.
Uh-oh.
So there are treatments that can be done. There's some, interestingly, topical nitroglycerin or a topical blood pressure medication cream can be used. There's a surgery that can be done to basically decrease the tone of the sphincter.
Oh, now we're having anal surgery.
I know, right. Yeah, you don't want that. But there are physical therapists that help women, particularly with pelvic floor issues.
My goodness.
Related more to vaginal pain. Some women have pain with sexual intercourse because of increased spasm of muscle or spastic muscle tone. But I think those same physical therapists probably could. Excuse me.
You got locked up. Too.
I got some of Nick's phlegm. Excuse me. Woo. But yeah, I think they could do some. I don't know that they would probably. It probably doesn't say butt plug on the website for those physical therapists, but pelvic floor training.
That could help.
I think so. Yeah. Because unless the problem is every time you get a fissure that causes pain, it reinforces that sort of increased tone, which then reinforces you getting more tears. So
It probably doesn't say butt plug on the website. I think you're right about that.
No, it does not.
Imagine you have to stop by the office to pick up your butt plug.
Right. No, but they do. I mean, they, again, with women with vaginismus, it's called, which is pain with sexual intercourse. There's different dilators that they use to help relax those muscles. So I think the same could probably be done.
Dilator, like the cream stuff you're talking about?
No, I mean
hardware.
Hardware.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Clinical hardware. And I should bring up quick the question about the height or growth restriction maybe in kids on asthma medications. I was having a little trouble getting online access. I'd say it's a bit controversial. There was a study about 25 years ago that suggested maybe there really was, and then there's been a lot of follow-up from that. I think it's not a huge deal. It could affect the kid's height somewhat, but it's not going to be, multiple inches, again, changing the course of their life. So it's
very interesting.
And the control of asthma is critical for a child to be healthy, survive, and grow. So
other than
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
I was just going to say that we always enjoy when Dr. P stops by, but it's extra fun when you get to talk about a couple of subjects that you never knew were real problems.
Yeah.
Asthma affecting height, being so damn firm in the back door area that you have to train this sumbitch to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
or you can't take a proper deuce. So this is why this segment is so enjoyable. You get to find out things that we never. On the asthma thing, I did have one listener text in and say, "Hey, look, I'd rather have my kid play in the NBA Finals than be able to breathe properly." So they're going to avoid.
It is an exciting time for basketball fans. He's warped.
Right.
He's warped after last night's Game 7. That's all it is.
The playoffs have him thinking.
He's not thinking correctly.
Crazy things.
I'd like my kid to stand on the court and wheeze as a professional.
No. If the Wolves were eliminated last night, he wouldn't have sent that text.
Yeah. That's funny.
Dr. P, always a lot of fun and great entertainment and great information. So thanks, buddy.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for making the trip. See you soon. Bye. Korean Jesus checked in for some luck. He's going to frame a house for the first time today and hoping he doesn't shoot a nail through his hand.
Oh, man.
If you do, text us back in 2 weeks. Dr. P can help you out. Happy belated birthday to Nate Outdoors Jesus from Box Tossin' Jesus. Happy birthday to Millimeter Peter Jesus. Happy birthday to Rich from Railroad Inspector Jesus, and thank you very much for listening this morning. Have a super sweet Monday.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.